put a recorded live for Ideal in the fix-it spot since George is in. Do you want him to do that or not?
No, yeah, because we're going to talk.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just want to be sure you're okay with Ideal being thrown and taken off this list.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Frank's a live call-in. I'm not sure about that one.
So Fix-It is on here.
He was, but we take, like we do every
We
guest.
save you money, in other words, when you're here. You don't mind, right? We don't bother
No, that's fine. We just have to do our thing before, I gotta leave at 12:30.
Thank you.
Okay, you have to leave at 12:30?
We'll get it done.
Yeah. Brian was going to come on, and he had some with his daughter's school, and I had lunch with Andrea and the salespeople here for the contracts this year. And at 12, so I pushed it back to 12:45.
Who you meet?
I don't know, Andrea and whoever. I don't even know. Maybe she brings, I guess.
But
Probably the sales manager, I think.
whatever. But it's for sure. Are you using an agency at all? I got a one-man guy that, honest to God, I get glowing reviews whenever I recommend it. And the only reason I recommend it, let me tell you what, I make no money, but he used to be the sales manager at a TV station I worked at. And then he went on his own. And he does exactly what you want them to do. They don't try to tell you the creative and all that stuff. For people like you, he just says, here's the best deal I can get you. And if you do this much more, you get this deal. Or if you do this, you don't really need this. In other words, he does all the bullshit. And I don't even know how you could possibly, especially in two cities, how you can figure out.
I don't do it in Media and Dallas, sir.
Okay, but when you do, and he can look at your overall schedule, and I'm telling you, man, he just beats up people, and I like it. I mean, I do. I use him for me when we're doing our referral list stuff. And then, who else did I refer to him? I really like him, John Fuller. I also refer some other big, Bio, who does all of BioT shit. He put them on the map. BioT was paying out the nose. By the way, you ought to just at least talk to him, because he's like us.
Email me his information.
He's just a one-man. When I say one-man, I mean he has an assistant and stuff, but he truly just knows the business. So many times, like even when I'm in the business, I just said, look, here's what I'm looking for. This is the demo. Where's the best place to get it? I don't know how. I detest marketers who, I don't mind them making commissions, but I detest when they just do it for, it's almost like, why are you running this guy here? Or why are you doing this? It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's just wasted money. I fight that battle all the time as far as where people should run. Are there any napkins out here? No? We got some good. Just need a few.
I mean,
yeah, just one. Just thank you. That's good to have them up there. Yep. I am, as you know, notorious. Mark laughs at me.
actually, Mark, he's over there still.
Does he spill too?
Yes.
Little bastard. Making me feel bad.
That's funny. Because he gives you such a bad time.
What did Mark get done with salmon? What?
Huh?
What was that? What were they talking about? Mark got what? That somebody to bring salmon back or something?
Oh. All the restaurant and stuff. You didn't hear about the restaurant over Christmas party?
We had a reservations for 16, and they completely blew it. He was pissed. He ended up leaving he and Suzanne, because truly it was their fault. I mean, so after 2 hours or an hour and a half, they sat, a few of us, but they said 4 of us would have to be somewhere else and 2 somewhere else. And all they had to do to remedy it, the only thing, this is after an hour and a half, there was a whole wall of seating with the chairs, bench and chairs. One couple had to be moved, and the entire party could have been accommodated. And the manager, I think he just got his back up with Mark, refused to move the one couple. And they hadn't even ordered yet. In fact, they were sat down after the other couple left, and he could have did our whole party. So when they sat that couple down, they hadn't even ordered a drink. I said to the guy, look, they haven't ordered yet. Would you move? And he says, I moved 3 couples in my entire career. And I said, now listen, man, I've been very patient.
Here's 4.
I've been very patient, but
Make it 4.
you really should do it. And then that's when Mark left. Mark got really pissed. He said, fuck you. Not fuck, he didn't say that, but he said, I'm leaving. And then he left. And then he filed a lawsuit.
Mark filed a lawsuit.
I thought was totally unfounded. Totally.
Filed a lawsuit? That's a little extreme.
Breach of contract. And you know what's funny? A small lawsuit gets the same attention as a big one. Do you know that?
Yeah, for sure.
And so the guy, the owner, called him personally and said, we didn't follow the playbook.
What restaurant was it?
Harry's.
There's 20 of them. Okay, somebody.
I said, Mark, it's not a breach of contract. We're not going to get anything. The guy called and gave us dinner at any time at any Harry's for $16. Total paid. Everything, food and drinks. Now that's going to be $2,000 or more. No, $2,000, right? Yeah. With the way these guys drink. As far as what else, he gave me a $500 gift certificate and Mark a $500 gift certificate. In addition.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. This hour brought to you by Bright Light Chiropractic. On this show, you're going to hear a lot of stuff. You're going to hear me bitch and moan about bad guys and how people get ripped off, and lament about people who are out the money or the product or the service. Then you're going to hear us solve problems. You're going to hear us get the bad guy. Sometimes they even go to jail. Over my nearly 40 years just here in Denver, there have been about 4 people sent to prison. There have been numerous people sued. We've had a couple class actions. We've had people going out of business. And more importantly, we've made a lot of business friends who have actually mended their ways. And some of the people on my referral list started out as adversaries. I mean, a very few, but it happens sometimes. And this show is all about help, honest to God. And one of those things we do, we recommend good people. That is every bit as important as going after the bad guys. Bright Light Chiropractic is one of them. I'm on a mission against chiropractic because I love them. Well, why am I? Well, does that make sense to you? I love chiropractic, but the industry is being polluted by doctors of chiropractic, PCs, who do everything but chiropractic. I mean, I don't mind if they do nutritional counseling and all the other crap, but listen, don't give up the root. Don't give up what Dr. Palmer did so well and what other doctors pioneered in. During the bubonic plague, they found that adjusting someone's back cleared the lungs. I think it was bubonic. It's one of those big plagues. Well, anyway, Bright Light Chiropractic, Dr. Mike Hederscheit, that's what he does, chiropractic, with light targeted adjustments to your nerves to help your body heal itself. BrightLightDenver.com. Make your own appointment. We go. All of the people I know go. BrightLightChiropractic.com. So give us a call. Here's how you can contact us. We have a few ways. Right now here on the air, 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. We also have this number 24/7 that automatically comes here when we're here, in the office when we're in the office, and voicemail, and we check it. Today, Dan, how many voicemails would you say today?
We just had 2 today.
Only 2?
Yep.
Oh,
2.
that's
Very
unusual.
low. Yep,
Very
it is.
unusual.
Very unusual.
And you listened to both of them. One was a woman wanting some help with a charity, and what was the other one?
Yeah, the other one was I didn't finish listening to it and
A
stuff.
problem?
But yeah. It was,
And we contact everyone, unless of course it's just a comment. So that number 24/7 303-MARTINO 303-627-8466 303-MARTINO, and then you can also help at troubleshooter.com is an email address. We have a special guest today we'll introduce in a second here, but Mark Major is at Bertha's house. Bertha is in her 80s. She hired a man down the street to do some handiwork around her trailer that needs fixing up. Now, Bertha sounds like a lovely soul. And she said, after giving the guy 15 grand, because he said he needed a car to help her out, so the 15 grand was going to, you know, was what she was paying him to do all this work. He did nothing, except bought himself a car. Mark was so pissed off. He said, you know, Tom, I just want to go see her. And then we're going to go after the guy. Major Mark Major.
Hey, man, so first of all, she's 90 or almost 90.
Oh,
she's 80
she
now.
lied about her age. She said she was in her early 80s, that hussy. Go ahead.
This guy is not a good guy, man. He was in the joint for a while, according to her, for murder and some other stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
my God, so we better be careful when we confront him.
yeah,
Seriously.
This guy's the real bad guy. You know, the good news, if there is any, is really what she needs. She's in a nice little adult community over here, or retirement community.
Is it a trailer park, Mark?
Yeah, it is. It is. And really, here's what she needs. We need to get, these windows are leaking. The wind blows in, the rain blows in. We need to caulk them and basically get this thing painted. And she doesn't need new steps. She basically needs a paint job on the outside and caulking around all the windows. And then one door needs a little bit of repair with putty and paint. And then the other door needs to be replaced because the glass got broke in it. So really 2 doors. I took measurements. But what we really need is a painter that's really good at what he does, that can caulk the windows so the rain doesn't come in, and get this thing painted. I mean, that's really what she needs. This guy took $15,000 back in August and has done nothing. Literally, he's just disappeared.
Hey, Mark,
Says,
in general, how's the trailer? What shape is it in? Is it a double
not
wide,
bad.
a single wide, or what?
It's single wide. It's not bad. I'm inside. It's actually nice inside. She keeps a really nice place, honestly. She's on oxygen, so it's a little hard for her to get around, but really nice woman, 89 years old, just really nice. Her husband died a while back. He was military. Really what I'm asking people for is a painter. I don't know if we bug Steve the painter and then maybe take donations. It's not going to be that big of a job. It's a single wide trailer that needs caulking, painting, and 2 doors, exterior doors.
Now, you mean exterior painting, right, Mark?
Yeah, exterior painting. Inside
So
is wood
why did
paneling.
she think that would come to 15 grand anyway?
He just put the okey doke
Well,
on
guys,
her, man.
because she knew she was helping him buy a car.
Well, I understand that, but
was
it was
part
still
of that money.
It doesn't matter. It was part of the money to fix.
Yeah,
Suzanne, it wasn't a loan for the car. In other words, he said the work was going to cost 15 grand, and part of it was going to a car. Big deal. But there's not 15 grand. There's not 15 grand worth of work there. It would be different, Suzanne, if he said, hey, let me borrow some money to buy a car, plus I'll do the work, and maybe part of it was a loan. But he,
honestly,
she never expected
to. Her. He's a con artist, and he befriended her and got her for 15 grand.
Do you know where he lives? Does he live in that community?
Yes, he does. I'm going to drive by and get a picture of the car.
Okay,
and
but
trailer.
get the car and the license plate and everything. But please, Mark, and I'm serious, don't confront him today, okay?
I've got some ideas on that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, for sure, if you're going to get shot at or killed, make sure it's live. I mean,
at least we get video.
That's good radio.
Right,
no,
I'm
seriously.
back. I'll see you guys.
Seriously,
soon, but really,
thank you.
Let's try to get her some help.
We're going to get her some help for sure. Oh my God, we are. George Donaldson is with us. He's the owner of Fix It 24/7. I've known George for many years, since he was a wee lad. And he started out as an electrician, became a master electrician, and he and his family built a great set of companies back in the day. He came back to town. He loves Colorado and bought this company. And talking about fixing it, he fixed it. From a little to big, but still little when it comes to like how they operate. Each single customer is like the only customer. We use them a lot. And fixmyhome.com is the website. Fix It 24/7's the place. We're going to do a special today too. But George, let's talk. Of all the calls you take, how many of them are people who've been ripped off? Like I know it's a small percentage, but they call you after the fact, or they call you with a bid and say, hey, some guy said I need a furnace. What's usually the rip-off? I know you come across rip-offs because you've turned me on to some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, it's a small percentage of our calls, but it actually happens a
But
lot,
when it
a lot
does
more
happen,
than you'd think.
when it does happen, is it mostly elderly or what?
No, I mean, sometimes it is, but no, it could be anybody. I mean, because people don't know, you know.
And what is the normal come on? Is it a bad furnace? Is it unneeded work? What is it?
Oh man, it's usually if it's something that's dishonest, it's usually something that's not true. So they tell them something that's not true, or they twist the truth, or they exaggerate the truth. It's usually something along those lines.
It's not and pricing.
Oh, I mean, there's all in this. You know, I've been in many marketplaces. This marketplace has some of the highest priced companies I've ever seen anywhere, and I've had a big company in California. I mean,
but believe it or not, sometimes the biggest ripoffs come from the guys with the bargains. I mean, you know, I know
sure.
if you can pay 25 grand for a furnace and AC, and I'm talking about for a small house, and I think that's exorbitant. And I would say, in my opinion, there's nothing illegal about it, but I would say it's unconscionable and it's crazy. But it can be done. But what's really even just as dangerous is when a guy comes and says, oh, I can do the furnace and AC at $1,200, $1,400. I mean, you have to be suspect of those jobs.
for sure.
I mean, really suspect, because in my opinion,
The permit costs that much if you do it right.
those are the guys that start ripping you.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, if you have any questions on not just furnaces, but heating, cooling, air, home services in general, drains, I want you to give us a call. But there's something else I want to do with George I haven't done before. He is a master at starting businesses, getting them to be attractive businesses, and selling them if he wants to. I'm not saying that's what he's doing in every case, but here's what I want you to know. If you have an idea, or if you have a small business, if you have some challenges, give us a call and he'll talk to you. Now, here's the deal. I've actually said I thought he should go into business consulting people on what to do. If you're hitting a snag in your business life, give us a call. I'd love to know what your challenges are. You know, this is a consumer show, but part of the deal is making for great businesses. 303-713-TALK. And Larry, I know you contacted us about the roof claim, and we called you back, so we'll get right to you, I promise, okay? If you just hang on, we'll get right to you. 303-713-8255 is our number right now. We'll be talking about anything you want, but especially if you're in business, you're hitting a snag, or what is this thing we hear about, culture? And how important is it? Truly, what is culture when it comes to a business? Okay, let's talk solar. GoCamSolar.com. You're an electrician. Have you ever wired solar? George, ever?
We have, yeah. We don't do it now.
No.
But, yeah, there was a time where we were part of it, yeah.
This is a niche that people need to get into. I'll tell you why. Because there are so many people getting solar systems. And Cam Solar, of course, has their electricians they rely on. But the point I'm getting at is you can get electric free. You're paying for your solar system, but the electricity is free. If you go with a solar system now, with no money out of pocket, the monthly payments you're paying are saving you money over your electric bill. Then, when you pay off that system, you no longer have any monthly payment for energy. Now, you may say, well, there's maintenance, but these parts are guaranteed from the manufacturer for 20 and 25 years, depending on the component. GoCamSolar.com. Put a / and Troubleshooter there to fill out this form. They're not going to come and visit you. They're simply going to give you an estimate of how much money you will save over 20 years. That's GoCamSolar.com / Troubleshooter.
This report is sponsored by Blue Emu. There's a few problem spots here and there, but for the most part, the drive across town remains in pretty good shape.
A little hot here, you're fine.
I'm seeing westbound I-70 Wadsworth blocking the far right shoulder. Just travel through there with caution. Off-highway and auto pedestrian access.
So today I'm taking the helicopter to a business appointment.
Crash off highway being cleared to left of the
It's so far away.
Country, US
It would take us.
It
It would take us an hour and a half or so.
Oh, really? Holy cow, that's what
I mean, only because of getting out of the traffic, the time of day, where we have to go, and then going.
Can you land anywhere?
Huh?
Can you just land anywhere?
No, but this happens to be a big facility, and they have room.
Okay, so you can land. I mean, it doesn't have to be like an airport. It
With
doesn't have to be
permission, I can land anywhere. With
permission from who?
The owner. of the property. The other
So you
thing
can land
is,
on any property if you have.
yes, with permission. The only thing that would exclude it
When you put skill with
is if there was a flight restriction there from the FAA.
repairs when you need them, but repairs when
Believe it or not, local government can't put in flight restrictions. Did you know that? They don't control that. They can't.
Integrity, knowledge, experience.
Now, if I wanted to regularly land somewhere with permission, like regularly, I live with a woman or something, then the local government could control the land use, but not the air, but the land use. So they could technically say, we're not going to have an airport
Like,
here.
where do you keep it? Your helicopter.
At an airport. So
But you used to keep it at your property, right?
I had a property where I could keep it.
When you
That's
were a
right.
Parker? Yeah.
But I didn't get it legally. I tried to get it legally done, and I couldn't, so I just stopped. Anyway, so if you have permission, you can land, but you must not endanger people and property. Now that's in a fixed wing, dictated as to 2,000 feet horizontal, 1,000 feet above. But with a helicopter, that's not specified. It's just to stay clear and safe. So it's really a lot left to me on what's safe and clear.
Putting money away for that rainy day. Take AIM, affordable interest mortgage, 720-895-0500. Have you heard? There are loans specific.
Dan, that lady Dot, I tried her 3 times,
Really?
and the voicemail says I don't check voicemail,
Who
email
is
me.
Dot?
She has a problem with an auction house.
Yeah.
An auction house?
Yeah, she sold a little statue and glass.
Of course they're waiting a year.
Yeah.
I think those out there, just so you know, are free books. I know how you love free books.
I love books. Is today Wednesday?
Today is, and Frank's going to do a live. I'm going to text you what he wants to talk about, okay?
European to speak so many languages? Maybe it's because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Babbel's award-winning technology gets you speaking right away, whether you're learning Spanish, French, or German.
So what do I have today?
Remember what you've learned. I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way. Using Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons, you can be speaking confidently in your new language within weeks.
I was amazed that I could start having real-life conversations right away. It was so fast. Now I'm speaking Spanish. Woohoo!
No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, French, or more. You can try Babbel for free. Go to Babbel.com or download the app and try it for free. That's Babbel, BABBEL.com, or download the app to try it for free. That's Babbel.com.
Let's talk about Buy and Build, a place that I love talking about because Buy and Build buys tons of stuff and passes on.
What's the launch date for that when I need to get some spots? What is it, Monday? Oh, crap, okay. I got a lot of work to do.
Buyandbuild.net will give you a preview, but you really have to visit 4800 Washington Street for cabinets, countertops, sinks, toilets, faucets, ceiling fans, and more. 303-295-6022. 295-6022. Buyandbuild.net.
Krista Kafer, evenings at 6.
Wednesday. So we get in the Waller.
Why do they say Krista evenings at 6? I thought it's Capless and Kafer.
It is.
Does she maybe do an hour on her own? 6 to 7?
Yeah. No, I'd say it's 4 to 6.
I'm Tom Martino.
SentryRV.com is located just north of the city on the 119 turnoff to Longmont and I-25. That location has a service department. I can't tell you how many emails I get about service. They say, I know you got a lot of great garages that you love, but what about when it comes to RVs? Well, all of them can work on RVs, except they don't have the facility, so you need a place that can accommodate them. Sentry RV for service, the 119 turnoff. That's Highway 119 and I-25. And I want to emphasize that. Sure, they have new and used, and they have a place out west in Littleton, just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's. But if you're looking for service now, you won't find a better place. Service for all RVs, whether you bought them there or not. 303-453-1111. Okay, let's talk. What's on your mind? Sandy's got a question for George. George is with Fix It 24/7. What's your question, Sandy?
My question is, we got 2 commercial heaters last, I'd say September.
For what?
And for a garage repair shop.
And what kind of heaters are they? Are they the ones that hang like in the corner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called Hot Dog, and it says commercial residential, and they're making a lot of noise.
Now, when you say noise, you mean out of the ordinary noise, because you have the fan. First, you have the click, and then you have the, the fan.
No, not rattling noise. Not a fan noise.
Like a rattling, is it a rattle that is very, very regular, like, or does it go like this? You know what I'm saying? I really mean that.
I don't know because I'm not down there that much, but it's not from the fan, because when the fan turns off, it still makes a little noise.
Has it always rattled since they put it in?
No, it didn't rattle the first day, and then the people we had renting it didn't use the heater that much because they did a mobile service more.
But it blows hot air out of a box. It's one big box that hangs from the ceiling.
Yes.
And it blows. Because, George, sometimes when heaters turn on, the metal and stuff around it starts crinkling, and you know what I'm saying.
I do. But there's also things that could happen that make it rattle that can be easily fixed. Will they not come back out and fix it and look at it?
The company that put it in, he's just one man, and he fell off his truck a couple weeks ago, so he's out of commission. And it's really kind of sad for his situation.
What did you pay for that installation and unit? I'm curious.
I want to say $3,000 for each of them. So it'd be like $7,000, but I don't have.
So you have two in one building, or
yes.
And are they both making noise?
One is making a lot less noise.
That's weird. But one is actually still making the same noise.
Yes.
And did you tell the guy, at least, the guy that fell off his truck?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said he'd come down and look at it.
Here's what I would like. Is your husband there? Where he went?
He's not with.
No, you said I'm not down there right now. So where is this a business you have?
No, it's a building we have.
Okay.
There is a business in it now.
Can someone at the business or someone there hold up a cell phone for us to hear the noise? I'm serious.
They're strung from the ceiling, and I don't think he's got a ladder, so I don't know how much you would hear.
I'll tell you what.
How do you hear it then? How do they hear it?
He hears it, but I don't know if a cell phone would pick it up.
Oh. What were you going to say, George?
We could send somebody to look at it. It might be a quick fix.
Would you please?
Okay.
Go ahead and give our office a call. Just tell them the owner said we
would do it as a courtesy.
Yeah, we won't charge you a chirp fee to tell you what it's going to take.
But I want to know out of curiosity. So what I'd like to do is see if we can run somebody over there while we're on the air. So Sandy, hang on, okay? And Suzanne will get your information, or whoever needs the information, the location, and then we will get to somebody at Fix It 24/7. Because I'd like to know what it is. Now, George, you guys are somewhat limited with commercial work, right?
Yeah, but it sounds like
like where's the cutoff on that?
If it's change out, if it's working on them, we'll do it. But if it's adding, it's really when it comes to adding new units to a commercial building, like a big building.
Yeah.
We just.
You just don't do the big commercial.
Right, we don't.
But you do big garages and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. 303-713-TALK, and of course Larry contacted us, and we called him back. What's going on, Larry?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing well, and tell me about your insurance claim.
Well, we had, we'll start out the story. We had some health issues in our family that made us, having to sell our home in Colorado Springs. We had Allstate insurance, and we put our home up for sale, and once we sold it, probably about the first week in October, not only the bank people that were going to take care of the loan, but an inspector hired by the new owner was going to want to make sure everything was mechanically sound.
Well, that's normal. So you had an inspection. Let's get to the part that hung up the sale.
Okay. I took I went down to Allstate and told them that I needed a new roof.
Why? Hold on. Wait, you skipped a part. Who said you need a new roof?
The mortgage company and the licensed mechanical inspector hired by the new owner.
Okay, so a home inspector plus the mortgage company both said you need a new roof. And did they say what was wrong with the roof?
They said it was hail damage.
Okay, now Larry, is this your home?
Yes.
When was do you recall a hailstorm?
Yes, in August.
Did you put a claim in?
No, not right I didn't know we had that as much damage as we did.
Well, what did you think? Were neighbors getting roofs?
Here and there they were.
Okay, so you didn't even think to get it checked?
Not at the time.
Okay, so now you want to know what the heck should I do? And of course, do you still have Allstate?
Well, the policy has expired, but
when did the policy expire? When do you still own the house?
Well, I owned the house until November 9th.
Okay, hold on. November 9th it was sold, but this complicates things. You owned the house when you had the August hailstorm.
Right.
And you had Allstate in full force and effect when the hailstorm hit.
Exactly.
And when you called Allstate, what did they tell you?
They told me that I told them exactly what the
I understand. What did they tell you?
They told me go ahead and get a bid and bring that back into the office. So I got a bid from a roofer.
Then what?
Brought that bid in, and they said, go ahead and get that roof done.
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there.
What happened then?
Never once did they send out any of their people to inspect the roof.
But you had the roof replaced?
Yes, before we closed, yes.
And then what? Did Allstate pay?
No, they did not.
Why?
Well, because the pictures that they were saying from the mortgage company, they weren't good enough.
They said they weren't good enough.
They were not good enough. They were saying that it was blistering due to not enough ventilation on the roof, which is not true.
Well, whether it's true or not, Larry, you did this ass backwards. This is, the first mistake was any hint of hail, you should have an expert look at your roof, not the adjuster, but an expert.
Right. I had a licensed roofer look at it.
No, I'm talking about the first hint of that storm. That's in August.
I see.
The second problem is when you went and they said do the roof, you got no documentation proving that, do you? Or do you? Do you have a text, an email?
From whom?
From Allstate telling you to get a roof.
Doesn't a claim number, isn't that proof, Tom?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not that somebody looked at the roof or approved it. It's a claim number.
It was a verbal thing, Tom.
And are they denying it?
Well, that person no longer works for Allstate.
How do you know that?
My agent told me that.
This is really terrible. Hold on a second. Let's talk to some insurance experts coming back and see what we can do for you. But I'm hoping everyone listening will never, ever, ever make this mistake. A lot of it happens when you're going to sell a house. Hang on, 303-713-TALK. Speaking of insurance, Integra Insurance are the people we turn to for health insurance, and you should too. This is what you call open enrollment, and you only have 6 days left. I'm telling you, if you do not get it, you can't get it after that, and you are out of compliance with health care laws. Now, you may say, well, who cares? There's no penalty, but here's the deal. You could be refused care. It is a serious matter. So here's what you need to do. You can go to Integra Insurance and they can find you an affordable system because they are not required to stay on the exchange like they used to be because there's no penalty. So you can buy from anywhere you want at the best deal. IntegraInsurance.com. Please do it before the deadline expires. That's Integra Insurance. They're on my referral list at referrallist.com. It's very important that you contact them. Integra Insurance, you have until the 15th. After that, it is too late. Here it is. The number, 303-466-5500.
This is Denver's Talk Station.
I would say that's going to be tough.
Can I have a new
all
sheet,
states.
please? I screwed mine up.
Kaminsky Mornings, Dan Kaplan.
You hear a shoot the chair sheet?
I got it.
That's going to be a tough one,
Danny
Tom.
gave me one. Do you need it, Dan?
Nope. I just look at it and make sure.
I'm not doing plumb line. And I don't do fix it when... Okay, do something, yeah.
What do you think on that one? Would you be able to force Allstate?
What's that, sir?
Think you'd be able to enforce Allstate to do that? I think it's a lost cause.
I think they're in trouble, don't you?
Yep. Without having inspection from their yeah. I wonder when he called in.
I can't stand when people do when they don't get what they know damn well it had hail damage.
Well, his agent should have said that they, should have sent one out. His agent, what's his agent's issue?
Hey, Dicus, you don't need the list?
Nope.
I'm Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans. They have the rate guarantee. If rates go down, they will refinance you free of charge. 303-867-7000. Check out their pre-approval. It's like a cash offer. Already approved. Not pre-qualified, approved. All you need is the appraisal. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. Equal opportunity.
Oh, the stock show.
136-756.
You know what? That gets no play anymore like it used to.
No, it doesn't. I wonder if they're still running the cows down the street. Have you ever seen that where they run down the Denver streets?
No, they don't do that anymore.
Oh, they did it a few years back.
Come on.
Yeah, I've seen them. 3-4 years back.
God, the stock show was such a big deal. I used to go with my family every year. They don't do anything anymore.
It's like the rodeo?
Really?
I want to take my kids. Who do they even care? They're such pains in the ass about stuff and they don't like it.
Yeah,
we literally work to earn your business every single day. We do not hold you to a long-term contract.
You won't believe the level.
They don't want to pet a cow?
Your home.
We send in a cleaning crew and a virtual tour crew right off the top.
He has stats to prove he sells faster and for more money.
We not only sell your home faster and for more money, we back it up.
Frank Duran, the real estate man, with Remax Alliance. 303-920-1622.
I would like to.
And you're starting the year already in trouble with the IRS.
Like the petting zoo. That's huge.
Tax woes. No matter what your situation, back taxes, years since you filed, an audit, get help now from Larson Tax.
God, I mean, tell you, we used to, all the TV stations had live crews there. I mean, we made a big deal about it today.
Larson relieves the pressure because they take on the
Yeah, so the parade, January 10th was a parade downtown with the cows and everything.
Tomorrow.
Between you and the IRS to negotiate the best possible settlement. Way better than
Why do they do it in the middle of the week?
Because Larson has seen it all before, they won't judge you. Their only interest is
we got a lot of work in that.
There was a big media party they used to have. We had, it's amazing the small knit community we used to have with media and all the stuff we used to cover. Things are so different.
LARSON tax or online at LarsonTaxRelief.com.
Are you worried about your mom?
It goes to Union Station to 17th Street.
You know,
I'm John London. Listen, I know
the Democrats are saying, we should have open borders, basically. California says, come one, come all. I mean, they vote every single benefit in, and the taxes are going crazy.
I live there.
No, I know.
I fucking know.
I mean,
they're accommodating.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
listen,
I'm freaking,
when your heart,
it makes me so.
When your heart conflicts with what you can actually do, you know what I'm saying? I mean, truly. I mean,
yeah. Let's just
It does. I mean, it's not that you want to, I don't want to be hateful. I love immigration.
That, yeah.
My parents were immigrants from Italy. Yeah. I love it. I'm not saying we should have a wall. I'm asking.
We should have a wall. And we should have,
I don't think
people got to.
I don't think a wall matters. I think we should have some kind of realistic immigration policy. Right?
Why is it not realistic?
Well, I don't even know what it is. That's the problem. I don't know what it is right now.
You verify, for one thing.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair. They're insane. They will do free transmission diagnostics, free, which includes, listen to this, George, removing the transmission and taking it apart and then detailing what needs to be done for no charge. Now, I asked him, Mark Machowski, the owner, I said, do you get burned on these? He goes, no. And I said, how many decide not to do it? He says, you know, really 3 or 4%. And I said, why? He said, because, you know, obviously we discussed beforehand. Do you think you want to fix this car? And they say, well, yeah, if it's within this range, probably. Although there's no obligation. When they take it apart, if they decide not to fix it, there's no charge. And then I said, well, what about if they want to take it somewhere else? He says, well, if they have a bid lower, we'll try to beat it. But if we can't, they can take it somewhere else, and we will not charge them. Okay, so what's the other scenario? The other scenario is that they just want to put it back together the way it was. And that is really stupid if they want to do that, because it's already apart. You may as well take it somewhere or do it yourself. It's already apart. But he says like 1% of the people might say, just put it back together and forget the whole thing. I'll just drive it as long as I can. And for that, he doesn't charge for the disassembly and all that. He'll just charge a small fee for putting it back together. And that's negotiated up front before. So nothing to lose. It's that easy. Nothing to lose.
Smart.
I think it's brilliant. I mean, and they're the only ones doing this. The only ones.
And that's why it's smart.
Yep. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair on South Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth. 303-781-9858. 303-781-9858. So what happens when you have hail damage and you don't report it? I want to talk to Jeremy. Jeremy is with Compass Insurance Group. They're our insurance experts. By the way, Jeremy, our insurance help center yesterday, how did it go?
It went great.
Really?
Yeah, it was really successful.
Hundreds of calls, dozens of calls. What did it rise to usually? Usually it's more than 100 for sure, but...
You know, I would assume so. I don't get.
Do you recall any of the roughly? Do you recall any big savings? I mean, we were getting some examples yesterday, and they were hovering around the $1,000 a year mark, which is a little low. But I mean, trust me, that's good, saving people $1,000 a year and increasing their coverage. Do you recall any cases you took?
Yeah, I had a really good one yesterday where we saved. I think it was only about $800, but the coverage they had versus what we were able to do was.
Yeah,
a lot better.
The biggest danger, and I want people to hear this, the biggest danger are those deductibles. People don't realize when you have a 1 or 2% deductible on the value of the dwelling, you're looking at like $10,000 to $12,000 to $14,000 in some cases.
It could be huge. Yeah, the deductible and then the actual cash value for the roof replacement is really burning a lot of people. And, you know, it's wintertime. We're not getting a lot of hail right now, so it's not on people's radar. But come spring and summer, there's going to be a lot of people out there that realize they have that coverage after it's too late.
So Larry wanted to sell his house, okay? And they said, hey, you have hail damage. And Larry remembers a hailstorm in August. So he calls them sometime in October and says, or whenever he did, and he says, hey, I got some damage. And they say replace it. Now, don't they usually put something like that in writing, Jeremy?
Well, that's the thing on this. Who specifically told him to replace it?
Larry?
The person in the office of Allstate.
Who doesn't work there anymore.
Who does not work there anymore.
That's where this got sideways, because you needed to file a claim, and then you get a claims adjuster who's going to instruct you on the steps. And so without them able to physically go out and inspect the roof, they have to rely on pictures. And pictures are, you're not going to be able to tell blistering versus hail damage through a picture. I mean, you can, but it's very difficult. So I think where it got sideways was whoever in that office who told you to just replace it. That's really like, that would be the equivalent of our office, and we would always be deferring to the claims adjuster working.
Can you get testimony from experts that saw the roof?
Yes.
Well, here's why, Larry. If this was me, I am giving you what's called friendly advice.
Okay.
If this was me, I, honest to God, would. How much was this roof? How much, Larry?
$9,060-some and 75 cents.
Okay. I would have an attorney write a letter, and I would say that we have expert. First of all, you lay out your case, that you're not a crank. I called, spoke to so-and-so. They said to replace it. In the absence of an adjuster, you had photos. Plus, we have standing by expert witnesses that will testify the roof was hail damaged and needed to be replaced. Therefore, if you do not submit a check to me in the amount of whatever it is, minus your deductible, which includes the subtraction of your deductible, however you want to do it, you are going to sue them, and this is what you have to include in the letter, for bad faith and seek treble damages. You must write that letter. And Larry, I'm going to make you a little bet for lunch. If you have that letter written and they mention bad faith, and you mention you have experts who can testify that the roof needed replacement, because they might be able to dispute one roofer, but they can't dispute three experts.
Right.
They can't dispute the mortgage company. They can't dispute the other guy, the home inspector. And plus they have to dispute the roofer. And I imagine you even had more people look at it.
Right.
Larry, I think you'll win. Jeremy, you know they don't like hearing that crap.
They don't. The part that concerns me on this one, and that is...
Go ahead, Jeremy. I know. Tell me what you see as a weak spot here.
The hard part is the kind of he said, she said, as far as who told him to go ahead with it.
But if you get to the substance over form, that's another thing I want you to use. If they start saying, well, he didn't do this, and you say, you know, Your Honor, the IRS, it's good enough. What's good enough for the IRS is good enough for me, and that's the substance over form. And the substance here is that I did have a roof that needed replacement, and I was actively covered by insurance. But Jeremy's right. They're going to attack him on what, Jeremy? The process.
The process, and you're right, Tom. Totally, in the substance over form, and that's the absolute strategy I'd recommend too. Just be aware that's probably their comeback strategy is, you know, you did this out of order. We don't know, you know, there's no proof someone told you to replace it, because a lot of times people will replace something before the insurance company has a chance to inspect it. Now, in this case, because of the sale, certainly enough eyes have been on this, expert eyes, that bodes well for you, whereas most cases it's not. It's just it hails, people replace the roof, and then they file a claim, and that's not good. But in your case, we don't have that.
Okay.
So here's what I want you to do. Get a letter written. Now, you're probably thinking this is a pain in the ass to hire an attorney to write a letter, right? Okay. Let's get Mark Kranak to do it cheap. Mark, we can get Mark to write a bad faith letter, right?
I would assume Mark could do that simply.
Suzanne, hook him up if you can with Mark Kranak and ask Mark just a letter right now. The letter says, in essence, we have proof. We have proof. We have expert opinions. The roof needed replacement. Plus, I talked to someone. And the substance of this whole thing is I needed a roof and you're refusing to pay. And I was covered. Therefore, I'm going to be seeking treble damages through bad faith. Larry, you write that letter and you let me know, because I think you're going to be shocked. Wally's got a comment on this. Go ahead, Wally.
If an employee of the agent told him to do it, and it was wrong for the employee to do that, because I'm in the roofing business and I deal with this all the time.
Yeah.
Why would you not be able to go after his professional insurance against these type of things?
Well, they would have to do that. And in other words, Wally, you're right. I mean, if somebody makes a representation and they're your representative, you could possibly, as the employer, be held responsible. In some cases, you are not. But here's the point. No matter what he does, it's up to them to scurry and figure it out. I don't think he has to go hunting. I think he just goes after them and says, here, I got a bad roof. I want it replaced. Because he would still have to prove the person said it.
Well, I understand that, but I disagree with you that it's going to be this easy just because you write a letter claiming bad faith, because the insurance companies, if they don't see the damage, they're not going to pay for the damage.
That's right.
No matter how many other people looked at the roof, if they weren't associated with the insurance company, I mean, that's like wrecking a car and having it fixed and then saying you need to pay for the damage to my car.
Wally, listen, in most cases, you have an adjuster look at it from the insurance company. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a friendly bet with you. First of all, I know I'm right because we've had it done already. We have had roofs retroactively paid for without the insurance company eyeballing it because of situations similar to this. All I'm saying, it's not the norm. It's not the way you should do it, Wally. I'm with you. But in some cases, when you have strong expert testimony, multiple expert testimonies saying the roof needed to be replaced, I think you can prevail.
This report is sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
Where'd you do it?
I sent it to you.
On text?
No, on email.
Oh, your house doesn't look bad inside.
Did you put her up?
Yeah.
Mark, you sent it to me by email.
Yeah.
Why the hell?
Why the hell did I send it to you by
No,
email?
why the hell am I not? Oh, there you are.
Got
Okay, you sent it earlier. Oh, this is a nicely kept place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at her picture. You'll see the inside's nice. She's 90.
And now she's not going to turn out to be, you know, who was that woman that turned on us like a
No, I don't
rabid
think
animal?
so.
She turned on us like a rabid animal.
No, but I'll tell you what, man. This guy burned her.
Who was it?
This guy's pissed. I know who you're talking about. I forget her name. What's her name?
You loved her.
She hates staff.
She hates everybody.
She was going to call the federal post office on me.
God, that woman turned out to be a bitch.
We all spent all day moving.
Yeah, spent all
that
day
was
moving.
horrible.
And she accuses things
It was
of missing.
literally
Got her out of a
spent
place because it was
5-6 hours moving.
Moved her. Got her into another place. Got her benefits.
She was
got
a
her all
hoarder.
kinds of shit. And then she turned on us.
Oh my God. She was
Well,
going to call the
those people-
postal inspection on me.
We get one of those clients, like, we get like 2 of those a year.
Oh.
So she was a hoarder, but she only hoarded new things, and they kept them in the bag. And then she says after we moved it, she had a whole room full of stuff. She said, "Hey, I'm missing my purse. Missing a purse." And
Does this guy? Do you think he is a
Oh,
badass?
I took a picture of his joint and the car that she bought him.
Does this trailer look
She
like
was supposed to be, he was also, as you know, not only get the whole trailer painted, sand the steps down, do the doors, fix the caulking around the windows, but part of the car deal was, too, when she needs to go to the doctor, he was going to bring her to the doctor. This fucking deadbeat's not even bringing her to the doctor. She was good friends with his wife, and then his wife died.
Yeah. Died how, huh?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to send Dan in on this one. We're too valuable.
Maybe we ask for a civil assist when we go and serve them.
I think that's a good idea. I think we do. She was like, she went a little further on with the guns. He's got one next to his recliner in there.
That's the problem. If we're at the door, he's crazy enough that he can shoot right through the door. I'm serious.
And if he thinks...
And he'll just say, well, I didn't know that it looked like they had weapons. You know, it's when you're at someone's house, all bets are off. It's very difficult to get a murder conviction. It really is.
So you go up to the door, we'll push you in.
Well, you pretty much got to be in the house, though.
What do you mean?
For, I mean, to get it without a murder conviction.
Oh, you mean make my day?
Yeah.
This guy's 70 years old, has nothing to live for. His wife died. He might not give a shit. And he's already been in the joint for murder. He already knows the joint.
He likes the joint.
I was going to say, I can't get cataracts. I saw a spot, but it was a piece of wood.
Hey, probably says, hey, it's 3 squares and a bed. The joint.
What do they say? 3 squares and a cot.
Man, I'm telling you that guy's a piece of shit.
I'd like to see what he looked like. I was kind of hoping he was out front, but I don't even think I wanted him to see me take pictures. I'll send you.
Champion's coming back.
I'll send you a picture.
Let's egg his trailer house.
They never left us. They still pay, dude. I don't know why you said they're coming back. What do you mean? They've never left us.
This is not something that. Oh, Mark, it was from sales saying they re-signed.
Well, let me tell you, it doesn't affect us at all because they never left.
You losing weight, Mark?
Yeah, I've lost quite a bit, but I haven't lost any since I don't think I've lost any since the last time I saw you.
Let me see you, Mark. Let me see your face. Yeah, I think he lost it in his face. That's why we noticed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
His arms too.
His arms too, right? Right.
I've been really built. Is that what you're saying?
I used to bench press 400. Now I don't. I tell you what, I had a workout the other day.
Up here. They start getting tight.
I got off that treadmill the other day. I put weights on my ankles, and then I hold these weights while I'm going the whole time. Then every 5 minutes, I do 50 of these and then 50 of these. I would beat the hell, man.
Hi, Tom Martino here, your troubleshooter, and we love solving problems like tinnitus, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Do you have tinnitus? Do you know how many people I ask, and they say, well, yeah, I do have that little noise, and it's not normal. You can fight it, okay? Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. I'm not going to moan on and on about how bad it is. You know if you have it, okay? They mask it. And you may say, what good is that? Well, these hearing devices you wear mask it in such a way that you don't hear it. And then, because your brain is not accustomed to hearing it, it lasts even when you take them off. You become desensitized to it. Then they have other treatments that literally eradicate it. So depending on your level, they can help you. It's Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Clarkson and Hamden, brand new facility, 303-534-0163. Look for them on my referral list. Referralist.com, 303-534-0163. Welcome to the show. Fix It 24/7's with us. We're talking all kinds of stuff. Mike, what is happening in your life?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. I said George was somewhat of an expert of growing businesses. He really is, and in procedures. Mark is actually one of the best procedural people I know. I think George is one of the best cultural people I know for instilling in all of his people some kind of, I don't know how he does it, but it's almost like he clones them. What is your deal, Mike?
Well, I own an assembly shop, and I just been getting real slow because I lost all my salespeople when they moved from Denver down to Pueblo. And I've been doing assemblies for 30 years.
And you do assembly for what, Mike?
I do just like flat ribbon, coax cables for all kinds of other businesses.
Okay, so you're a vendor and you make you assemble things for other people.
Yes.
Okay, and you do it by the piece?
Yes.
And is it mostly electronic stuff?
Yes.
Okay, and tell me what's in your wheelhouse, like what you do, your ideal clients.
Well, I do them from all different kinds of people, but I do a lot for like traffic systems.
Okay.
You know, they go in the boxes. I do a lot of flat ribbon cable.
And they'll just say to you, here's what we need, or do they give you the prototype, or do you design it? How does that work?
Sometimes they will, but a lot of times they'll give me a print.
Okay.
And I'll have to look up the parts.
All right. And where is your log jam right now? Where is your problem right now?
My problem is just trying to find some customers.
Okay.
I used to have sales guys, but once they moved down to Pueblo, we're part of a wind company. We were. And
but you own this company, right?
Yes.
All right, hold on. So you really need salespeople, but you need to know how to attract customers. And we have a few other questions. We'll help you, and the information will be good for all coming up.
That's what these
Seeing
guys
is believing. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom
I got a
Martino.
niche right there, but
well, he lost his salespeople. So, obviously he had salespeople that went out and got his business, and now he doesn't have it. So clearly,
He
experience.
he needs to do it, or he needs to find more salespeople. I
I'm gonna
want
put
to ask
my
him why
ideas.
salespeople move to Bevel.
Why would anybody?
Are we flying to Watkins?
Yeah.
The weather's cool.
Let me check.
iCare.com.
So far,
Ideal Home Loans has a program to fit you.
Seems
They
nice,
can help you with debt consolidation.
So you found her house right there. It's not a very big trailer park. Or?
It's pretty. It's the exact one I thought it was. I used to pass it every day on the way to my Peoria store.
$100 of that apply backwards to new mortgage. They are going to be completely.
The lots are really close to each other, but it's not like really perfectly maintained because it's older, but it's nice.
She keeps her place. I mean, the grass looks good at her place.
Her place looks very good. Her place looks good.
Who takes care of her lawn stuff? Or is that the... Huh. No, does she have a cleaner, or she does everything in her house? I mean, her place looks good.
No, she doesn't. Her oxygen's in the kitchen there, and that she's got a cable long enough to move everywhere.
I mean, this shows perfect weather with no wind, but it shows visibility lower than usual. And I don't understand. I mean, not low, but
it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's foggy, but I mean,
usually it's unrestricted. And now it's not unrestricted. I mean, but here's the thing. We're so used to unrestricted that it seems weird when you have like a 10 or 8 miles visibility. So I'm just wondering.
It's a little restricted.
A little hazy, huh?
Little hazy. Down, when I was heading down 225, it was definitely a little hazy.
Why did you say she needed steps? Or they...
Say that again.
Why did she say she needed steps?
She doesn't. She needs them sanded and painted.
Okay.
He was going to sand them and paint them. They're not horrible.
No, her place.
I went around.
Okay. All right, sweet. Take care.
That's fake grass. That grass would be green by now. I didn't even think. I don't think it was fake though.
No.
You're right.
Remember
How the
Andy
hell's
from
that so
yesterday
green?
with the charitable contribution write-off?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get Eric Reinemer for that, okay?
Oh man,
The Deputy Attorney General, often criticized by the President during his oversight of the Russia...
You know, I watched those two clowns last night. They were both behind the same podium. The one called
Oh my
the
God,
other.
it looks stupid.
They look so dumb, and I go, is it just me because I don't really like their politics?
No, they look.
Or did they come off
They
as
look
complete
idiotic.
morons?
Ross
They
said
look
the same
idiotic.
thing on the radio. It looked dumb.
I was texting last night. I texted
She's
him.
a crazy woman.
I didn't even think about it. Honest to God, did he? Look at this. Now you're going to
Where's
drive me
she?
nuts.
Where's she from?
The Bay Area, isn't she?
Probably. That would make sense.
She's going to be president someday.
No, she will not. Zero chance.
Look at this. Look at this last night.
That's an impossibility.
Last night at 7-Eleven, right?
Well,
as
you
this
sent
is
it to
going
us.
on. Last night. This is going to be a Saturday night skit. It's so fucking stupid. Fake news, blah, blah, blah. And then I come down here. He thought it was a BB+. I'm like, are you kidding me? What did I put here?
That keeps my business cooking.
That barrage of bad wordplay.
Oh, I literally said exactly. Oh, right here. Cheesy response.
Visit progressivecommercial.com to quote today. Insurance provided.
Has California got a lot, almost like, I heard like in San Diego and LA, they got big homeless parks or whatever, it's nothing but tents?
Yeah. There's places.
So what,
Especially Northern California is crazy.
what kind of a land, I mean, land is expensive.
Seattle, too.
The land is expensive there. Who's paying for the, is it just state land or what?
Yeah, it's just nobody. It's just people. It's just areas where they just let them do it. So I mean,
So it's not like a park or anything, it's
I mean, in some cases it is, and in some cases it's not. Some cases it's the streets, land is streets.
do they put up porta potties or what do they do there? Just let people shit in the street?
Increasing clouds and a high of 59.
To me, I would think that would make people more mad
This
than
report is sponsored by P3 Portable Protein Packs, the more interesting way to get your protein. It's the middle of the day and snacks for calling your name. Answer with P3 Portable Protein Packs. It's meat, cheese, and nuts are high in sugar and keep you
Well, that's why they say San Francisco's so bad. I
That's a
mean,
more
it's
interesting way to get
needles,
your
it's
protein
crap,
with
it's,
P3.
yeah, it's
Adults who have
crazy.
crazy
It's
and
because of the housing markets in those places are.
They can't afford anything.
It's crazy. It's just crazy to me though. Like, it's just like if I was in that situation, I wouldn't stay there.
If they just tax you higher, though, they can buy these people.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean,
In fact, you should pay for people in Colorado too.
all the
all the people, all these businesses are flooding out of California because of the, especially the new tax benefits.
Think of New York City now. He just said there's going to be
Well, both California and New York
health care for all.
That's what California said too, I believe.
What?
Health care for all.
With all these businesses leaving, like who's going to pay for it? The only way to pay for everything that exists now.
Basically Amazon, and who was the other one there? Amazon and somebody. Oh no, I'm thinking Washington. Amazon and Microsoft.
Get rid of Proposition 13. Is that proposition that property tax stays the same? Is that Proposition 13?
And rates are still in the low fours. Denver's housing market is continuing to increase in value.
You've had your house for a while, so it probably helps
I just
you.
sold it.
Oh, you did?
Because of the tax plan, the housing market has been dropping. So I wouldn't rent it. I'm renting for next year to see what happens. Because I really believe when people do their taxes, it's going to get even worse.
Like new carpet,
So we have a 13% stake, right? That was deductible against your federal tax set. Now it's not.
Up to a certain amount.
Yeah, and your property taxes and your interest. Yeah, it's basically not a write-off anymore. So
for those without W-2.
the more people realize this stuff, the more people are coming on top of they realize how much it would be. Colorado has the lowest state tax, income tax, for states that have income tax. In states that don't have income tax, they nail you on property taxes. Colorado also has one of the lowest property taxes. So Colorado actually has the best overall plan. And the number one place to live for quality of life. So people figure that out.
That nice car he bought.
That's his layer in his new car. That's some layer, isn't it?
You know what? Like that, we have that license and we can get his lien on it.
That is some.
The more they leave,
that is some layer,
the
man.
businesses leave, all the tax dollars leave. Well, how are they going to replace it? Right?
And then to track them back.
What I should do is just send JJ over there and snag the car. Just grab it.
So you,
Nah, he'll just report it stolen.
Right, that would be the
I
problem.
live there.
Although that would be good. You know what? I think
Sacramento, Bakersfield.
I swear, except it is granddad auto.
Yeah, I've been there 9 years, and I love it there.
Oh no, it's right there.
Except for
And you could tell her.
Everything's mountains.
No, you couldn't shit with it.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, artofgranite.net. That'll make you happy. Wholesale on all materials always when you deal with Art of Granite, even if you don't buy it from him. He'll use his contractor account and buy it for you. He's a direct stone importer, should be able to find anything you want, marble, stone, quartz. Quartz is a new deal right now. Do you like quartz? I like good old granite. I love the leather finish. That leather finish, you know, you don't have to polish your butt off and it still looks good. Anyway, Art of Granite, here's their hallmark. Wholesale on materials, small markup, of course, on the cabinets, but on his materials, there is no markup. He also takes out, hauls away all the old stuff free. And then he does the bathroom free when you do the kitchen. So give him a call. He charges for fabrication and installation. He is so proud of his value, he'll give you a price on the phone. And it's within 100 or so of the actual thing, depending on what you pick out at his Golden Showroom, 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919, artofgranite.net. So let's talk to Annie. She had a question yesterday. I told her I'd get an expert. Charitable contributions. What is it? It's when you give to what? That's what I want to know. First of all, what qualifies? Eric Reinemer, who is with Atlas CPAs and advisors. Eric, first of all, you know, what if I say, hey, you know, my kid needed help, it's charitable. What does the IRS consider charitable to begin with?
It's really only those organizations which are 501c3s, which is bona fide charitable nonprofits.
You literally have to have that designation, not to have a charity, but to have a charity with the tax deductibility feature.
Correct.
Okay, so if you want to donate, what are the rules for this tax year right now for which we file before April 15th, 2020? What are the rules? That's what she wanted to know, so let's ask. Annie, you normally offset some taxes each year, right? Can you give us an idea last year what you donated, or this year, whatever, for your the last tax year you did? How much did you do? I'm curious.
You mean amount?
Yeah, no one knows who you are. Like, how much?
a different organization.
Yeah, altogether.
Altogether, it'll be between 4,000 to 5,000.
Okay, that's very generous of you. So, Eric, is it increasing this year or decreasing, or how is it calculated?
Well, here's the thing, Annie. Do you itemize your tax deductions rather than taking the standard deduction?
Yes. And go ahead.
So nothing is really changing with the charitable deduction. The only thing which is a big deal is the IRS made some changes in the amount of the standard deduction, so that for you, for example, do you file a single or a married tax return?
Single.
So what happens is the amount that you can take as a standard deduction has doubled from $6,000 to $12,000, and so therefore a lot of people, including perhaps yourself, may not need to bother with itemizing your deductions unless you've got more than $12,000 between charity, mortgage interest, and state taxes. That's the real issue.
Do most people have more than the standard deduction?
They actually don't, especially now. There's like 20 million people that are going to fall off the ranks of itemizing deductions because of that doubling. A lot less people are going to have to mess with itemizing than ever before.
Now, did the child deduction go up too?
Yeah, well, the child, that's the offset. Yeah, well, three things happened. The standard deduction doubled. Then the second thing is the personal exemption went away, and that's $4,000 a person.
What does that mean?
That means that there no longer is an exemption. You don't get $4,000 for you and your children as a deduction anymore. That's gone.
Okay, but do you get a deduction for children or not?
Yeah, yes, you get a credit. They've increased the child credit up to, they've doubled it from $1,000 to $2,000, so that helps offset losing the exemption.
So when you have a credit for a child, does that get phased out with income?
It does, yeah. When income gets over a couple $100,000, that does go away.
Okay, but you still get to double your deduction. I mean, your standard.
Yeah, that applies for everybody.
So they just assume that people have certain deductions, and rather than screw around with making them itemized, they just raised it to what, 24,000?
24,000 for a married couple and 12,000 for a single.
Now, is there a such thing then as a marriage penalty? I used to hear something called a marriage penalty. I also used to hear something called filing single can hurt you. Is there any truth to any of that, or did all that go away?
No, there is truth to the fact that if you're married but you file a separate tax returns, that can really hurt you on the tax bracket. So it's
why?
Because you're getting taxed at a higher. Basically, they tax you at a higher rate.
But wait. So if you file married, filing separately, or just separately, there's a difference?
Yeah. Well, you're either married filing joint, or you're married filing separately. And there's definitely a difference.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Is this married filing separately, or a bachelor filing separately?
Oh, yeah.
Are they the same?
Yeah, I think it may just you end up with a higher tax bracket if you're doing married filing separately.
Because then that would truly be a marriage penalty. I mean,
yes.
Wow.
That's a penalty for filing separately. But now it's a separate issue. Yeah, married filing joint. Yeah, so there is a penalty if you're married but you file separately. Absolutely.
So what they're telling you is they're trying to encourage you to file jointly if you're married.
Correct.
Okay.
Very few people file separately.
Right. And so bachelors, though, obviously don't pay the same higher rate than a married guy filing separately.
Yeah, it all depends on the amount of combined income between your spouses. Yeah.
Of course. Okay, now, to the question of charitable donations. Is there a limit, though, depending on gross income?
Yes, and that has changed. Up until last year, it was 50% of your adjusted gross income.
What does it mean?
For the year.
What does that mean?
Let's say, for example, you have income of $60,000.
Okay.
The maximum charitable contribution you could take would be $30,000.
Okay, I get it.
Half of your income.
Half of your income, but nobody does that anyway.
Except at least your money bags, unless you have real low income and you happen to want to give away a lot of money.
Okay,
people it does
so 50, you're limited to 50%. But I thought that the charitable donations had to rise to a certain level before you could even deduct them too. For example, it had to be a certain percentage of adjusted gross. No?
Oh, the only way that's a factor is whether you're going to itemize or not. But if you itemize your deductions and give $100, that gets added to your itemized deductions.
Okay, thank you. All right. Annie, I hope that answered your questions. We tried to cover all different scenarios.
Yes, and it was very helpful, and I appreciate it.
All right, because you're basically the same. So, Eric, in parting, you usually come on the show anyway before taxes are due April 15th. But are there any things that you're seeing over and over that people just don't think to do?
Not really. The big thing I see is if people haven't paid enough taxes in. You know, if you're an entrepreneur, that's the biggest problem. The other thing I'll just point out that a lot of people, they pay extra money in to get a refund, but that's letting the government use your money for a few months. So I don't.
You don't want to do either. You don't want to do one way or the other. You want to try to be as close to the target as possible.
That's correct. And the big surprise everybody's going to get when they file their 28 tax return is it's changed. It's a goofy thing. They've cut the size of page 1 in half, but they've added 6 more schedules in back of it you have to fill out, so it's going to look real different than previous years.
All right, hold on. Thomas has a quick question for you here. Thomas, go ahead.
So I've got a 501c3, an education 501c3 that we have, my wife and I. A question that I have: I've got another company. If my other company gives to the 501c3, can then my wife draw a salary off of what I give to the 501c3? So basically, I get a deduction for giving, and she gets a salary.
That's a weird one. You know what he's saying, right? If he has a true charity, a 501c3,
right,
can he donate to that charity, but his wife works for that charity and draws income?
Sure, if you can substantiate that it fits within the charitable purpose, sure.
Now, but she would still pay tax, though. You understand that one, right?
Yeah, she'd pay income tax on that.
But what's the difference? What's the difference? Now, let me get this straight. If she's collecting money and paying tax on it, you're getting that charitable deduction. However, what if you just kept the money and paid taxes on it? Is there a benefit to doing it through the charity? I'm not saying that's why you're doing it. I'm just asking, is there a benefit?
That's my question.
I don't know. Eric, is there a benefit?
Well, the issue with having your wife pay a salary out of the 501c3 is you're going to have to pay the 15% payroll tax on it. And it's on that. If you'd rather just make the donation, I mean, you're going to be hitting yourself with 15.3% payroll tax if you charge a salary, unless there's a legitimate reason why you should be charging that salary.
Let's say this, and let's just say this to begin with. Let's assume it's all legal and ethical, but what if he made a donation to a charity and his wife is an independent contractor to that charity and simply gets a check? She still has to claim it as income, but do you have all the other HR stuff to worry about?
Yeah, there's less HR, but you still will have to pick it up on a Schedule C and pay the payroll tax on it.
Okay. So it may not help tax-wise, but certainly it can be done legally if you have a true charity someone works for.
Correct.
All right. So, Thomas, anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We didn't forget about Mike, who owns an assembly shop. He was going to ask George Donaldson here some business advice. We'll get to him right after this.
This report is sponsored by your local Ford store.
All an accident free in the drive across the metro area freeway system. If you got some errands to run, now's a good time to do it. I-25 and I-70 both
Look at this shoe, man.
town. No delays on the turnpike. 6th Avenue is looking good in Lakewood. Smooth flow on 470 and Highlands Ranch.
Don't make me get those so I can beat you in racquetball.
Man, oh man. Is it supposed to make you jump or run faster? Jump higher, run faster?
What are we talking about?
Cushioning system. Double sole.
Can you get a picture of this asshole?
These shoes use shocks that match a runner's
We've
body.
seen all variations of that, haven't we? Oh, no, that's a real shock.
Yeah, it's a shock absorber.
You know what? That would help your joints, because truly running is bad on your joints.
That's got to be probably a $500 shoe, huh?
So they're customized to your body weight as well.
Yeah, it would have to be. Otherwise, if you're not If you're too big, it would slam, and if you're not big enough, you would never hit.
Run pain-free, it says.
They're big and small. What I mean by big and small, they are big when it comes
You can run up to 1,250 miles.
Holy cow,
that's
quite a ways.
And that's all
It doesn't say how much there. On sale exclusively. Let's see. How much you guys think? $332.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Can you switch out shocks?
Designed for all types of strides. 3-year guarantee.
Does it ask for weight, Mark?
Yeah, it does when you order. It says you got it right here, your body weight. Well, let's see.
I would consider getting 70 and 80% off with Mitch.
Have you run that much?
No. What you see is one reason I don't is beautiful cabinets.
Is there a shock on each side of the shoe there, or is that just
everything you do in the
just one shock?
187 to 200.
Tear out and haul away the old kitchen free. Give them a call to start this process. 303-38.
Yeah, look at that. It is. It's twin shocks, man. That's so
Now, wait a minute. Wait until they start building into that. Look at power. So,
right. That race.
Power assist. Can you imagine? Seriously, power assist in that thing.
Well, just for jumping, anybody could start
You can
jumping
make
the
that, honest to God, you can make that a little combustible. That could be a cylinder, and you have 2 cylinders.
You got to wonder if they'd allow that in sports.
No, not in sports, but 2 cylinders. Look, you wear a fanny pack for your fuel. The tube goes down your leg to that little son of a bitch and fires off.
That's a crazy.
Oh my God!
You get that? You get your bionic eyes. You get your.
So
you're pretty close to these 6 million.
So when you hit it down, you want to compress it back. So this is a compression stroke.
So that
we're providing the compression stroke, and then it fires when you hit. Right.
So you wouldn't have to need fuel really. You could just.
That would be awesome. Yeah. That would be awesome.
The sole is composed of more than 50 pieces.
Mark, are you kidding me? A 2-cylinder. You could make it.
Comes with 6 spare studs.
They have those little airplane engines. You could put a damn little. You could put. The design's already there. Now just add 2 little gasoline engines.
Damn it! I can't turn my shoes off.
Here's the problem with the engine, though. You only want it to burst when you hit it.
I think just the spring would be. I bet these are incredible.
They got to give you a little bit extra oomph.
No, I don't think. On the recoil?
Yeah.
No, when you lift it up, I don't think it springs forward.
Well, it's got springs on that shock.
Yeah, but that's just
a recoil, right?
Or to look cool.
Or just putting money away.
I don't know if it's even necessary. It's really cool, though.
I think you should buy it.
Give me your credit card. I got my stuff, so.
You know, I'm going to order them, actually. So send me that link.
Encode.
I am going to order. I'm not kidding.
Does it say patent pending?
895-0500.
You got patent on it?
And trusted mortgage broker since 2001, where we specialize in you, the customer. 720-895-0500.
What a crazy ass shoe.
720-895-0500. Affordable interest mortgage.
I bet you it'd take a while to get used to it too.
I love Kurt Rogers.
It's the new Dan Kaplan Show.
Do you ever meet him, Mark?
Who?
Kurt Rogers.
On the Wednesday Dan Kaplan Show, we'll get local and national.
Why is he calling it the Dan Kaplan Show?
Address on border security.
What happened to the Krista? Hey, Dan and Krista do a show together because he's promoting. They used to.
Oh, like a week ago.
For like a minute.
Is she gone?
No, she's got her own.
She has an hour though, right? When does she run? 2 hours? What, 6 to 8? Uh-oh.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. And you know, we often get questions here on buying a house. How do I know if I'm paying too much or too little? And here's the biggest deal. When you're going to sell a house, how do you price it? Some people go with the real estate people that charge, that say it's worth the most. Some people say if you list it high and then have to go low, that's a sign of weakness and you can end up even taking less than that. Whereas if you start out lower, you go higher is easier and it shows strength. And I find it all very confusing. And I consider myself very astute when it comes to real estate and business. Frank Duran, the real estate man, to me, though, he puts us to shame because that's all he does. And he does thousands of transactions a year. In fact, Mark, we calculated that in 1 month his office does more transactions than most offices do, or than most agents, most brokers in a year, in 1 month. So, Frank, how do you consult people? And by the way, more importantly, do you charge for it?
Hey, Tom, we do a free in-depth market analysis if you're selling a home, or if you're buying a home, we'll do a free consultation to talk to you about the process of buying a property.
Now, people might say that's just to get the listing or the customer, but truly, you really do have this as a service, and you don't expect anything in return.
We certainly do. In fact, we've had people, Tom, where we met with them, and it just turned out it wasn't a good time for them to sell, but they were happy for the information. And you know what? 2 years later, they come back and say, hey, we remember you did that analysis for us, and we're ready now. So it's not always a good time to sell or buy, but we at least try to educate you.
Okay, and how do you educate? Where do you even start? Okay, so let's just say I want to sell. Where do you start? With comparables in the neighborhood?
Yeah, we'll do an in-depth market analysis. In fact, I'll do previews on other properties. We'll go back and show them the statistics, but not only that, what the other properties are selling for in the area. We'll also walk through the property with them and give them some tips on how to get the place ready to sell and to get top dollar.
What's the biggest mistake people make when they're listing and they're showing?
I think two things. Number one, obviously price, but for showings, I think you want to get as much light in the property. And, quite honestly, some paint and carpet sometimes, Tom, is inexpensive, and you'll get your money back.
But as far as what the house itself, do you declutter it?
Absolutely. In fact, on certain properties, I don't even advise you stage it. Sometimes you just should clear them out, show the property vacant, depending on the property.
And have you ever, vacated a property and put just select furniture back?
Sure, we've done that from time to time, and it's just a case-by-case basis depending on the floor plan.
Okay, and condos, are they best sold furnished or unfurnished?
I think, quite honestly, it depends on how the property is laid out. I mean, on some of these smaller condos, if we could do it unfurnished, it'll show off more square footage.
Ah. Okay, now, quickly, you say all you want is 1 day of an obligation. Do you really mean that?
Well, I'll tell you something. I had a property where we had listed it. We cleaned the property, did the virtual tour. I think we sunk quite a bit into this up front, even just our pre-marketing plan. The seller changed their mind the next day, decided they couldn't sell. No problem. We let him out of the contract. Tom, guess what? 8 months later, he came back to us and says, Frank, we always appreciate it. You treated us fair. He ended up using us to buy a property 8 months later.
They clean the house, too. Did he say that?
Yeah.
I might sell my new house every Friday.
Every Friday. 303. By the way, Frank, people can call you 303-920-1622. That's 920-1622, or FrankDuran, I want to ask you something. You always have this smooth. You notice the way he talks? He's like, nothing like me or you, really rough. He's like, yes, Tom, we do this free market in-depth analysis. And I'm wondering if you wake up in the morning after a long night and you say, good morning, how's everything? Do you ever sound rough, Frankie? Come on.
Or cranky.
Come on, Frank. Do you ever sound unpolished?
We'd have to ask my wife that, Tom.
Okay. That's what I want to know, because he's always, yes. I mean, I'm talking about privately, too, when we're together. He's like, yes, Tom. It's almost like he's always giving a presentation.
Even during Seinfeld trivia, who he, with the exception of me, he is the best at.
Hey, Tom, can you hand me that pen? Thank you, sir. Okay, Chris, what's the issue with your mom's house? What's going on?
Yeah, she just bought a house a few months ago, and it is a disaster.
Why?
And they didn't glue the pipes together under the house, so...
Did she have the house inspected?
Yes.
Well, why didn't the inspector catch these issues?
Because it was under the house, and he couldn't access that part of the house.
So if we summarize this, does it all come down to the plumbing?
No, they put the floorboards on the dirt, the floor rafters things that hold up the floor. They're on the dirt itself, and they rotted out. Then the ceiling rafters are made of 2x4s, or the roof rafters are 2x4s.
Yeah. And
they're just sticks held up there.
In other words, this house is a piece of crap. How big is the house?
How big is your house, Mom? 1,700 square foot max.
How much did she pay?
$130,000.
Okay. How much will it cost to fix?
Minimum of $50,000.
How do you know?
Well, because we put $30,000 into it so far, and we are just starting.
Well, listen. So you mean it'll be another 20, or do you mean 50 on top of it?
Another 50.
Listen, this doesn't sound right, Chris. I mean, but here's the problem. Was she lied to, cheated, or defrauded?
I think so.
Well, how do you, fraud is a big deal. And owner's disclosures. Here's what we have to do, okay? And if you want to go in, this is not a simple fix, okay? We need to first look at docs, okay? I need to see what was said in the docs and promised or not promised, like in the disclosures, okay? Plus the documents. I want to see the real estate contract. Mark saw a real estate contract one day that he said, sum it up.
It was insane.
Sum it up.
It basically said,
I'm telling you what
you're buying may not be what you're buying, and you acknowledge it.
You may not be buying a house.
That's right. You may not be able to live here.
You may be buying lumber, and it may not be very good lumber, and there's maybe some hardware and some plumbing and electrical.
And it was big and bold,
baby.
Hold
on. And it may look like a house, but we can't guarantee it is. I'm telling you, they were selling spare parts.
That was the craziest contract I've ever seen for a house.
I want to see all of this. Did you help her during this process, Chris?
No, I was detained. I wasn't able to come out here to the house, but all the rest of our family was.
Well, I can't believe they made such a boner. Why?
Because I guess every house out here is been made this way with ammo crates, and the wood is on the ground.
How old's the house?
How old?
45.
45 years old or built in 45?
No, it was built in 45.
Oh.
No, 49. 49. 1949.
Okay. 60, okay, 50, 60, okay, that's 1950. 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, it's not that bad. Listen, what we need to do here is some steps. First, the documents. Second, I need someone to inspect it with skill. And I'm thinking Eagle Home Inspections. But I don't want them to inspect it like for hire. I want them to inspect it like quickly to see what it needs, like what are the major flaws. Not like he normally does, or trust me, he'll find anything. I mean, he's just great. So the second one, after the inspection, Mark, what do? The documents and the inspection, then resolutions. But we got to do that first. So Suzanne, let's make arrangements and try to appeal to Eagle Home Inspections. See if he can go, just give a cursory, I want major defects that must be fixed, okay? And then on the documents, have him email us the documents. Mark?
Do you remember that house that they built around that truck? That was the craziest thing. Whatever happened to that? I don't...
Wait, what are we doing with that? We were
Well, Clint was working on it, and poor Clint's having issues, but that was nuts.
Clint's having some health issues. And you know, I'm not violating any kind of privilege here. He doesn't care if we talk about it. But really, he needs our prayers. I'm serious. Now, I don't know if it's life-threatening, but it's they can't find the exact source of all this pain and discomfort. So he really could use our prayers. And he's a great guy for helping people. So thanks for bringing that up. So Mike, this assembly shop, okay? You're saying you need more customers.
Yeah.
Right now, on your floor, what's the top number you can accommodate with production? I don't know how to evaluate. Is it per piece? Like, are you 50% at capacity is what I'm asking. Are you 75%? What capacity are you without expanding walls and facilities?
I'm at 25% probably right now.
Okay. 25% in the current status, and are you running 100% employees at 25% volume, or have you cut back to 25% employees?
Cut back to 25% employees.
And how long does it take to spool up from 25% to 100%?
Well, it all depends. Usually, if I get a good contract, I used to do stuff for like Hunter Douglas, and I used to have like 5, 6 people working.
I'm asking, how long does it take to spool up? 2 weeks?
No time at all.
Okay.
So
in other words, you have people on the ready.
Yes.
Okay. George?
Mike, you said you lost your salespeople because they moved to Pueblo. Why'd they move to Pueblo?
Because the Wintronic place up here shut down.
What does that have to do with you?
Because I worked for a Wintronic place and we did all their assemblies. So when they closed the Denver branch and moved it down to Pueblo, all the salespeople up here quit.
Well, why didn't you move down to Pueblo and open up a place to do it down there?
Well, they ship parts up to me now from Pueblo.
Oh, Okay.
So you had salespeople that went out and got contracts such as this, right?
Yes, and then, yeah, I lost those. You know, it's been like 15 years, so it's gradually been going down through the years. So.
I mean, so understanding your marketplace and your competition, what can you do to get more salespeople and go get some of those contracts that your competition has in your area right now?
Well, see, that's my whole problem. I'm just an assembly guy, and I'm not really good at sales, you know, going knocking and...
No, we're not asking that. What we're asking is, what would it take? How many competitors do you have? And do they have enough worth going after? Or do you have to develop brand new relationships? Think about those questions. We'll come right back to you. This is what we're asking. Are there existing customers right now using someone else? Or are there existing customers right now doing it in-house? Or are there brand new customers that don't even know about you?
I didn't hear that Chris, did he have an inspector?
What? Yeah, they have an inspector.
And he didn't see them?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to buy these running shoes.
Hey, guess what happened last night? I got a call from the guy that actually killed Kennedy. He said, "Did you hold this thing up in the mirror?" And I'm like, "How did you know that?" I mean, it's really crazy.
Just popped out.
That guy was such a nut. Let's get him back on. He was a real nut,
I think
man.
he told Suzanne too is, no, I'm not a nut.
I know. Anytime the first words out of someone's mouth when you meet him is, "Listen, I'm not crazy. I'm not a nut."
Probably crazy.
God, that one guy literally had, the guy that showed up here a few times and snuck into the building, he literally had tinfoil on his windows and shit, man, like the real deal. He said that Douglas County was flying black helicopters over his house. I can't believe he got through our girl downstairs, Corey. I can't believe he got through. I can't believe it.
He wasn't up here.
How did he get through? Just walked in? Or?
He walked in and basically said, Corey calls me and goes, "Hey, there's this guy out here to see you, Corey." And I'm thinking, who the hell's here to see me? I didn't have an appointment. I didn't have anything. So I go up front. Man, he was nuttier than peanut butter. He was the craziest thing I've ever met. And then about 2 weeks later, she realized instantly this guy was, off the charts. 2 weeks later, she didn't recognize him, and he snuck in. Then about 2 months goes by, he comes in through the employee door. They have him on camera up here on the 4th floor making coffee in the coffee fucking room.
Acting like he belongs?
It was, I don't know, well, you got to have a badge to get into the elevator, into the door, everywhere. I have no idea how someone let the guy in, thinking he worked here, I'm sure. But then someone let him up on the elevator. And they got him on video and they're making coffee.
Will the elevator go up without a badge?
No, it won't even come to you without a badge.
You can only go down to the lower floor without a badge.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
So you can go down, but you can't go up.
They didn't see on camera like how he got up though?
No, the camera down there at the time wasn't working. So I think they figured out who let him in on accident. But we haven't seen him since. But man, the first time he came in, he is the first true nutball I have ever met in my life. I mean, he goes, oh my God, he goes. He's shaking my hand, he goes, "It's Corey." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Did we have a meeting or something?" He goes, "No, you guys talk about me all the time." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You and Tom talk about me all the time." I'm going, "Oh my God, is this like a contract or something?" I said, "Well, what do we talk about when we're talking about you?" He goes, "Generally, when you guys are smoking that marijuana during the breaks on the show, you talk about me." And at this point, I'm looking at Corey. Corey's hearing this.
You put that a month ago.
I was like, what the fuck? So ultimately, I ended up talking to his mother. He's in probably his 30s. But his mother said he's been off his meds for a while, will not go back on them.
Unlike some lenders who charge $500.
No, I've never. Have you ever met someone like that? I mean, truly believes what he's telling you?
Yeah, schizophrenic.
Yeah, I mean, have you though?
I have, yeah. I know somebody like that right now. They're schizophrenic and they believe the crazy shit that they actually.
This dude
or whatever, and they actually, they 100% and
100% believe it.
Or meth. I mean,
that'll do it. The tweakers.
I know people that were on meth that actually believe everything
that they dreamed up.
For even when they get off it for years.
Oh, it's hard. They go back.
Yeah, well, but even when they're totally off, it takes them years to realize, okay, that didn't happen.
Crazy they were.
That didn't happen. But it's so real to them. It's so real that they believe.
They literally have a memory of it happening.
Yeah, no, it happened. Even it takes years after they get off it to
guys on
finally
meth,
realize,
they get so paranoid and something happens, even though it wasn't real, they truly believe it.
With meth, especially meth. Oh yeah, I don't know about all that, and they probably do. But when you're on it, the hallucinations you have and the stuff you think happened. When you get off it,
dude, you pass a lie detector. It's that real.
No,
man.
it's real. Like
you know this shit.
It could be 2 years after that. They're still trying to decipher what really happened or what didn't.
Did I really get in that car accident?
Yeah.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Denver Egress Windows. They are the ones who put the egress windows, the window wells in your house. If you don't have any and you need them to legally use the square footage, they can do it. And forget about just legally using square footage. It's safety for your family, okay? DenverEgressWindow.com. Look at their website. And they can rebuild the old ones. They can put in new windows, the new well. They can put in pavers and make them look beautiful. They can put in composite material and get rid of that old corrugated steel. DenverEgressWindow.com. So Mike has an assembly line, and he needs business. So my question to you is this. Do you have competition taking some of the business that you can go out and grab? In other words, are there people doing exactly what you do in this area?
Yes, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
And what the sales guys would do, we'd all bid on it, and the lowest bid would usually get it.
Okay. Now, are there new customers that don't know about you?
Yes, there's probably a lot, and that's who I'm trying to find.
Okay. And are there ones that do it in-house where it would be more efficient to job it out?
There's some people that do it in-house, but when they get so busy, then they'll sub it out to me.
Okay.
Are you like IEC here in Denver?
I used to work for IEC for 20-something years, and then I went to Denver Beta Wintronics, and that was their competition, and my company's Mile High Assembly.
It seems to me a lot of people are starting to source this out of China, though. Isn't that correct as well? Isn't it way cheaper than you manufacturing it? I'm just wondering if there's other issues besides the sales guys.
Are there other issues?
Yeah. Well, they used to go to China, if it's big production, if they're doing tens of thousands. But when
I'm just saying with Amazon now, for example, Tom, listen to this. 10 years ago, if you went into Walmart to buy a printer cable, it would cost you $19.95. I was buying them in the computer business all day long for like 75 cents. Now you can go to Amazon and buy that cable for $1. Because Amazon exists. I wonder if that's eating up his business.
Well, yeah, some of it, but these, some need like a certain pin, crimp and poke, so they need a certain pin out for certain deals, that's just not a normal one-to-one.
Let's talk about efficiencies. All horses meet at the trough for water. Okay, where do all people who need assembly meet? Do they have a publication? Do they have something that you can reach them? I tell people often, find a place where everyone eventually will go. If you stand near the restroom or near the exit, or if you go to the watering trough, where can you find, even though there are varying businesses, what is common to many of these? Do they have publications?
Yes, like Colorado Manufacturers Directory.
Oh, are you in it?
I was, but they keep raising the prices.
Jeez.
So it's just, a couple $100, and I never got any calls.
Come on, bro. I mean,
you got to target. I mean, Facebook campaign would be great. You just target manufacturers.
That's exactly right. You could actually do a Facebook. That's a brilliant idea. Facebook can target company and factory owners, people you need to get to. Have you ever done a Facebook campaign?
No, I haven't.
All right. Here's what I want you to do, and we won't charge you a dime. I want you to come in one day as a common man, and I want to design a Facebook campaign for you. I'll do the creative, Mark will do the placement, and we will show you how to use. Now, listen, we're not going to, by the way, do this long term, but we're going to show you, and you're going to spend a few $100 to boost it. That's it. And I want you to see how it works for you, because you're going to be amazed.
Right. See, I've been listening to you for 20-plus years. I sit down, do my assemblies, then listen a long time.
All right.
And I always wanted to be a common man. That'd be awesome.
You're going to do that. So Suzanne's going to arrange it, and then you're going to come in, and then Mark and I will sit down after the show. So what else do you have to say to him? You must have some stuff to tell him.
No, the biggest thing from what I heard you say is either you or a guy you hire. You got to find the person who's going to go out and get your business. So you had salespeople go get you accounts, and now nobody's doing that. So you have to get back on that. And I know you said that's not your strength, but if it's not, you got to find somebody within your line of within your industry. Your competitor might have somebody you can give a better offer to. Some people get stuck on what that'll cost me, but what will it cost you not to do that?
Right. You need commission salespeople.
Right. Well, what they used to do, they'd call to order the parts, and then we'd say, well, do you need any assemblies with those parts?
Now, why would they call to order parts from you?
Well, they would call the Wintronic place, if they're looking for certain parts, like Molex or Amp.
Okay, are you hooked up to people who supply parts then? That's a place where they congregate.
I know. Yeah, lately I've been going to a few places where I get my parts from.
No, I'm asking you, do you know where they get their parts from so you can put a bug in their ears to refer you?
There's only one place, and I got some parts from them and just left off a couple cards,
Do more than that. Do a business arrangement. For every customer that comes here, you get so much for the first batch, or for the first month, or if they stay with me 6 months, you get this. I'm serious. You make business arrangements for referrals.
This guy needs a sales guy or a marketeer, because he has no clue, to be honest.
Yes, I don't. I'm just an assembly guy, and I'm
not
good at sales.
So you need to hire that guy.
And
you got to find that guy.
Here's why. Listen. I often talk about this, okay? And you're going to come in, Suzanne, is she there? A common man, and then we're going to have him do a Facebook campaign with us, and then we're going to talk to him some more. Here's what people get. Here's where people make the big mistake. You have a trade and you have a business. My trade is broadcasting. My business is far beyond that. It's advertising and other things. Now, his trade is assembly. He doesn't even know his business. We talked about this at your annual party, right? Your people are plumbers and electricians, and they're HVAC techs, but they are not the honey finders. They're not the ones who find the right places to be and then connect those people with the people who do the work. That's what you do. And then you have different departments that do different things. People always lose sight of the business versus the trade. I knew a master electrician. He was a brilliant guy. I love him. Dave, we all knew him. He was the most terrible person at running a business, but a great electrician. He could never see why he didn't make it, because he didn't run a business. He was an electrician. And that is the problem. You can have a brilliant salesperson, but they don't know how to run a business. It is the entrepreneur who can put these elements together and make them work like an orchestra. That is what success is taking different people's skill sets and putting them together.
9 out of 10 contractors go out of business that start a business today will be out of business within 3 years. Most of them, the majority of them, are a great electrician, plumber, HVAC tech, or whatever industry that they're like, I'm a great plumber, I'm going to start my own business, but they have no clue
how to run a business. And running a business, the very first thing, the absolutely first thing, generating leads. First thing. That's the first thing. Before anybody, anything, that's first. Second, closing the lead. That's a transfer. That's a conversion.
Well, second is understanding your competition and why are you better.
Yeah, and that's the generation of lead, I believe. Then the conversion comes, and then after the conversion is what? The execution. And then after the execution is what? It's the branding. Here's what I mean. You get the customer as a lead. They're not a customer. They're a lead. You convert them to the customer. You execute product and service, and then brand their ass so they're yours. They are out in the field, but they're yours.
Well, then they're referring you.
Well, that apple.
It's all about the referral. What?
We bought some apple yesterday. I
bought it the day before.
You're right about that referral part for damn sure. I-25 approaching Alameda.
That's the only reason why we do the $19 tune-up. The $39 tune-up is we want that client to see what an amazing job we do, but how many people will they tell?
Washington on that stretch. Also watch out for crashes.
Which we gotta do before 12:30.
Oh, I gotta call. Oh, yeah. Westbound lanes.
Look at that, dude.
I mean, we got to do a few times.
So I fucking almost hit bottom. Like, literally, almost hit bottom.
I bought it at 147 the day before.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You were what?
How much did you buy? How much? Wow.
Right now, mostly
a lot.
I
bought a lot.
We bought.
Here, I'll tell you right now.
You know what I want?
I got a quarter in it right now.
I want to buy a home services company.
P3 portable protein pack.
I bought him a quarter too.
A home service company?
I want to buy a home services company in Dallas.
Walmart's looking really ripe for pickings now too, man. If it's not in your portfolio.
It's not.
When other retailers do shitty, Walmart always does better.
I've been completely out of the market until now, just because I was waiting for. At some point, it's going to drop, and now I think is the time to do it, right? I got Amazon.
Amazon, I made a lot of money on Amazon, but
see, I never was in it until now. I think it'll get back to 2000 pretty quick.
I was telling him to buy it when it was 900.
They'll tell you about the industry.
Oh, really? You didn't tell me.
How to approach it, how much it costs.
It has been 900 for a while.
Oh, yeah. Last year, huh?
Hey, Bertha, it's Mark. Hold on 1 second, okay? Hi, hold on. I gotta get this lady. We got a lady's gonna do everything, by the way, now.
So it's going to be the payment?
What does this mean, Mark?
They're gonna go over, paint the whole trailer, replace the doors. They're gonna do everything. Okay, I'm gonna have a woman call you named Brandy, and she's gonna come over and she's gonna look at everything that needs to be done. Okay, her name's Brandy.
Just going to a website.
Yep, she's safe. She's good. Okay, I told you I'd tell you anybody coming over.
Along with a 20-year parts and labor.
Cool. So I will. She'll reach out to you, and then you guys set a time that works. Okay.
GoCamSolar.com is the website. GoCamSolar.com.
And I saw that guy's. I went by and got a picture of that guy's trailer, Leon's or Leo.
It's time to join the millions of people using.
I saw that car you bought him. That's a fancy-looking car.
Conference room, photo room, or executive office into
Yeah,
a
I know.
with flawless HD video.
All right, I got to get going because we're coming back on the air. Okay. Bye.
Work with your existing hardware.
You're welcome.
Start your meetings with a single touch, or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom. Huddle happy.
Certain ones get me. I don't know why. I really do try to figure out why.
So here's a question here. If he's an ex-con, he can't own guns, I don't think.
Hey! That's a hell of a good thought I just had. If he was in the joint for murder,
he for sure has a gun illegally. Yeah.
that's maybe our whole
That's enough to
direction.
call right now and say, we know the man has guns.
Well, I don't know for positive. I mean, I'm going off
Lady
of...
says she knows and knows where they're at.
Just break in and see if you can see it.
Yeah, you go in there. We'll send Dan in through the window at
We're
night.
on the front line, Dan.
Quick,
Because I climb up in the window.
get a picture of him while he's in bed.
I'll peer through the window.
Hey,
Is that a gun?
this might be the whole deal. This might be the way to go on this guy. I'd love to see this guy go to the pokey.
I want to
man.
get a lien on the car.
I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yeah, all right,
Here's how you do it.
What?
Small claims court, you get a fucking lien.
That's right. $7,500
Well,
judgment.
better than nothing.
You kidding? It's way better than
But I know, what's going to be the evidence?
He won't show up.
Show up.
Because he's going to be in jail for having a firearm.
Listen, I know how to handle this motherfucker. We're going to record a phone call, too.
The big thing is he going to
She's going to call him. We're going to record the phone call.
Who sent me the address?
I did.
Well, if you do it the way I say it, we'll nail him. I'm serious. I got a process.
Let's do it. We're going to do it. I want to get this guy.
Let's do it one step at a time and be patient.
But here's the thing. What happens if he goes and tunes her up?
He won't the way we do it. If we follow the process, he won't.
If Denver's talking about it, you'll hear it on 630 KHOW.
And when you're talking about home improvements, Genesis Total Exteriors is who I recommend. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. I love websites because really numbers are fine, but most people don't remember them. Mark Szymanski, Genesis, he does interiors, exteriors. If you look at your house, you got the roof, he does it. You got the eaves and the side over there in the gutters, he does it. You got the siding, he does it. The windows, he does it. Doors, does it. Porches and decks, does it. Or does them. Okay? And inside, floors, ceilings, painting, everything, he does. He does. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And you can trust him. Missy's got a question about student loans. And then, George, what is your special? Missy, you're going to listen to this too. What is your special? Because this is the most incredible special. I want you to, you can explain it later on why it's so incredible and what you do and why it's good. But last time we did it, what happened to your phone bank?
Well, it was your Christmas special, so you called me.
Shut it down.
Yeah, we did the $19 tune-up, you know. I mean, our phones crashed. So many people called, and
because even the $39 one is a reduction from over $100 and some bucks, because this thing takes time and energy. And when he says tune-up, he's not talking about just looking at it. This is what most people do. So we'll discuss what you get, but I'm going to give you a hint. It's $19 right now if you call. And how long are we going to give them to call?
We're going to do it for an hour again. It's
1 hour.
It's just extending. A lot of people are bummed that they didn't get in on it.
Let's do it from noon to 1. From noon to 1. You can call now, and it's only effective until 1.
Till 1.
You can make an appointment for any time, but it's till 1. And that's 720-526-3939. Just $19 for a complete tune-up and cleaning of your furnace. And we'll go over what he does. But right now, I just wanted to get the word out to get the call started, because you're not going to be able to get it done cheaper ever or better for $19. Missy, what's the number 5? It's 720-526-3939. Missy, what about your student loan, dear?
I have 2 issues with it.
Okay.
One is that they are wanting to refinance my student loan.
Who is they?
Nelnet.
Are you sure it's the actual student loan, the real student loan people? Because a lot of people are being solicited to refi student loans who are not truly official student loan people. They're taking it out of the government guaranteed loan program and putting it into another kind of program.
Right, it is. I have been in contact with Nelnet, and it's the original.
Okay, and what does that stand for?
I'm not sure what it stands for.
Okay.
But it is definitely the government one that I went ahead and...
It must be a different one than I'm used to, because I had not heard that before. And you're calling it NEL? N-E-L?
N-E-L-N-E-T. Nelnet.
I got you. Now, Nelnet called you. Nelnet is the one currently servicing your loan.
They've serviced the entire loan the whole time.
Okay, and what are they saying? What are they offering?
Well, I graduated in 2003, and basically I have asked them if I could do an income-driven basis program.
Mm-hmm.
My interest rate right now is at 2.9.
Oh, that's a great interest rate. Does it fluctuate, or is it fixed?
It's fixed.
Now, what's your balance?
Almost $50,000.
Well, that's not terrible compared to what some people have, you know. What did you end up with for $50,000? What was your investment?
My investment was I received a bachelor's degree in business.
That's not bad. I mean, did you get a job out of it?
We have been having a business for the last, since 2003.
Really? And you've run it?
Yes.
And you attribute it to your education?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's pretty cool. So now, what can we do to help you? What do you need to know?
Well, we've had two emergency situations happen to our business that's affected the income last year. And so I asked them to change it to an income-driven basis. Now they want to refinance
Right,
it.
and you don't want to do that. They would love to take you away from that 2.9. They would love to.
Right.
Don't do it.
I want to do that.
Nope, don't do it.
So now they're telling me that in order to do the income-driven basis, they're going to charge me an additional, put on my account $350 a month for the entire time.
It's not legit. I'm telling you, it is not legit. Hang on, we'll take your call. Hold on. I do not want you to hang up because I've heard of similar scams, and that's what it is. That $350,000, $350 extra. That represents a giant increase in loan balance. I'm Tom Martino. More coming up. I'm Tom Martino.
2,700 shares.
Loans for your next Ideal home loan because Ideal wants to make
Right.
sure.
All I got, well, in just my regular trading account, all I have right now is Walmart and
Ideal is the only lender that offers these things, credit optimization, which means they will work with you to optimize your credit. Even if you're approved, they can do small tweaks to your credit, like paying down a certain.
I was buying some for him. This has happened twice now. It doesn't matter which way I go. So I'm buying 1,000 shares. Okay. I get it for X amount, and I jump into his account, and you know it changes every second. He ends up getting a little cheaper. So then the next stock I go to do, and then I'm doing the same thing. I go, okay, I'll buy his first. It doesn't matter what I do. For some reason, when I buy it from him, it's always fucking a little cheaper on his. It doesn't matter if I go first or second.
That call with the
It's
old
just
home,
crazy.
the mom's old home. Brian Wilcox called and said he'd go look at it.
Where will you get
But he had info. Do you want to bring the whole call back up again, or just send Brian?
In that particular
He says
account,
it's pretty normal
I'd be
for a
pretty
house that old
happy
to
if
have whatever
175.
I don't know. I didn't hear the call. So that's.
I mean, even maybe
Bring 'em up?
170. I mean, 10% would be awesome.
Would you pull some out at some point and then leave some in?
I don't know if I'd go past this next quarter, man. Samsung had a really bad day.
Why?
Oh my God, their outlook is horrible. But I mean, that's what happened to Apple too. But Samsung followed suit 2 days ago.
It's the tariffs in China that are killing it.
I don't think I go.
If it comes out that we made a deal with China, that thing will shoot the.
Yeah, it's not just the tariffs though. China, the market itself is slowing. They're not as. And where else do you? If you're Apple, where else do you go right now? I mean, really, you go to China to sell your phones.
So if the tariffs lift, right?
If the tariffs lift, it's going to be awesome. Period for Apple. I agree. But
that's what we're banking on.
The big weakness with Apple right now is the people in China aren't buying the Apple though. I mean, I don't know why. I'll tell you why. Because you can buy a knockoff for a lot less. You know, they had an entire fake Apple store. If you Google that, it's the craziest thing. In a mall in China, 2 different locations. When I say a completely fake Apple store, you and I and Tom and anybody that walked in there would think it's Apple in every which way ever. The products, everything. The entire thing was phony baloney. The store, the products, everything was phony baloney. All clones.
You can do that?
I don't know. No, they shut them down. But they were up and operating in a mall, multiple malls in China, for a long time.
I got to do something about this. Check this out. One of my guys is in Arizona, right? I got to show you this.
What is it?
And freaking, find it. Finds my logo, exact logo.
Oh, let me see.
Exact with an Arizona phone number, and they misspelled a couple of words. Like misspelled a couple of
let
words.
Me see
it's
it.
like
That's crazy.
And you look it up or call the number, went straight to voicemail. Look up the guy. Some guy says 20 years experience, no advertising.
But it's your logo.
It's my exact logo, like with the green dot.
He
You can't even make colors.
That's it 24/7.
Can't make
He
it
literally stole it.
Literally stole it.
And the problem is just going after him with an
Dude, that's the
ID
thing.
attorney.
Now I'm like, I gotta freaking deal with this.
You know what you do?
We left a card. I told him to leave a card with his business card. He was just visiting in Arizona, my plumber. And he left a card that we got a huge problem and left a. But this guy's so stupid. The printer, I don't know how, like, they misspelled a couple of the words.
Have Mark try to write him a letter. He'll get an attorney. He'll call Mark
I don't even
Trenner.
know where to send the freaking. Will he be able to figure out where to send the letter?
I couldn't tell you, but he'll draft a letter.
That's the name of the company. 624, huh?
They'll stop.
My exact logo.
Right, but what I'm saying that.
No, he doesn't have a legal. No, it's not a legal company.
Oh, okay.
It's not even a legal company. It literally is just some hack. And this guy
He just grabbed your
an
logo.
Arizona number. The guy's in Arizona and he saw it at a hotel. So it's like.
Do you have a location in
literally
Arizona?
some freaking. Do I have what?
Do you have a location in Arizona? That's why he chose
The guy
you,
was at a
because
hotel.
he didn't think he'd ever see it.
Yeah.
Report is sponsored by P3 Portable Protein.
I have no idea
The more
why.
interesting way to get your protein.
Look,
You're
Dan,
almost
here it is.
to the
Check it
day.
out.
Make it to the finish line with
Look at this
P3
thing.
Portable Protein Pack. With meat, cheese, and nuts,
What are you
it's
showing
high
me?
in protein.
I'll show you here in a second.
Perfect
As soon as it
for on the
goes,
go.
skip ad.
Grab the interesting
Who's
way
doing
to
the
get your
$19
protein.
special?
This is
That-
literally the
okay,
fake
gotcha,
Apple
okay.
Store.
Posey the books on 2018.
Everything was fake, man.
In financial decisions.
Completely fake Apple
That's
Store.
what one of our
Wait.
sponsors.
Where's
Inside
what
them
country,
all.
Mark?
In China. It's in them all, man.
Did they bust it?
Yeah, the government finally shut it down. But think of what I just said. The entire thing was phony baloney.
No, I know.
Hong Kong phooey. Fucking crazy.
I'm surprised they shut it down.
Find out how to take advantage of the new.
Look, just like it's laid out just like the Apple Store. Although Apple Store won't have that extra crap.
And help you with those decisions.
Right,
And
iBook.
more. Just call
No, they probably had better phones.
Well, I guarantee they had cheaper phones. They even had an old Macintosh in there. I mean, it's really good, Mark. Look, I mean, it's in a nice mall. We're not talking like, I mean,
What
this
is that?
is the
Core
real
values
mall.
of socialism? Wait, what is it?
This is a guy that's showing us the fake Apple.
Icon, I care is your home.
It's all phony baloney. Everything in the entire store is, and it's laid out just like an Apple Store. It's all Hong Kong food. MacBook Pro, it's all Hong Kong
How do you
food.
know you won't get canned? Surgeons around. I'm getting word out about Jetblur's latest.
He can't believe it though. But Apple shut down a handful of these. I mean, or the government.
How does he know it's fake, that guy? First of all, how does he know?
I think ultimately, if it's the video I'm thinking of, he works for Apple.
Or visit iconicare.com.
If you've ever bought office furniture,
Look, even the earbuds, everything there. Not one thing was a real product, but it all looked identical. So what they do, remember, most of the phones are manufactured over there. So for all we know, it was the exact same phone
Out the back door.
out the back door.
chairs, desks, cubicles, and more, and they will help design
It's
your
crazy.
office layout for free. They're
When your
free.
house is in trouble.
Look at this.
Right
This
off
is my exact
Fart
logo.
the big green bubble.
My exact logo. Look how he spelled heating. This is some guy in Arizona.
I spelled heating. Are you spelled heating wrong?
Look at heating.
No, you need to go after
Look, crate. That's not even a G.
an anti-aging clinic founded by three brothers who oversee your
It's a little bit crooked. My exact colors,
Who the hell
logo.
can misspell
You need
heat?
to go after
Is that right?
You need to go after
It's like, does he think that that's what makes it legal? He's at a hotel.
I don't even
Does
know
he
if
have
it's worth
a-
going
I know.
after a guy that can't spell heat.
No, I know, yeah. I just gotta find a lawyer who knows how to track this guy down.
Jeez, I don't even know. After seeing that, I don't know if I'd even
Oh, and no,
pay for a letter.
If you do not defend it, you lose it. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
If you don't defend it intellectual
The guy
property,
can't
you
even
lose it.
spell heat.
Yeah, it's I have a trademark. It's
That is the
natural.
oddest thing. I thought it was going to say like H-E-E-T.
How do you spell it?
H-E-A-T-I-G.
It's not that I'm not. I
You
just
know
gotta
what?
find out who to contact to do it.
We got it right.
God damn.
You could do it again.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter this hour, brought to you by Mark Trenner. I'm serious. Mark Trenner. He is an attorney for intellectual property. We were just talking about intellectual property. Stealing logos, stores, all of that kind of stuff. There's an Apple store. There are Apple stores in China that are phony baloney from the foundation up. I mean, everything about it. The whole store is phony. The window, the logos, everything inside the store, even earbuds, exactly the same, well, it looked to be, but phony baloney Hong Kong phooey.
Same tables Apple uses, just like they're here. Identical.
Anyway, Mark Trenner helps protect your property, whether it's an idea, a copyright, a trademark, or the most important thing is to call him first before anything else. Seriously. And I'll tell you why. Don't waste money before you do a search. I heard one guy tell me, oh, no, I did a Google. No, there's nothing like it. You don't know that. There are some people that have patents and no one knows about it, but it's there. and you can't just go and market it just because someone is sitting on it. Okay, Trenner Law, for all of your intellectual property needs. Don't go online to these 800 submission crappy companies. So here's the number, 720-221-3708. 720-221-3708, Trenner Law. All right, let's keep going. Chris called earlier about his mom's house, and he said, my mom got ripped off with an older home purchase. And we're going to talk about that. And I have Brian Wilcox from Eagle Property Inspections to address some of the issues. He hasn't inspected it yet, but my first question is, how do you miss something like this? How do you miss all these problems? Chris, you say that there are so many things wrong, but it's an older home, about 50 years old. So what does the home inspector say?
Well, he's saying that he inspected it, gave her fair warning that it wasn't exactly a great place, but it's normal for what the area has.
Okay, and there are some defects he couldn't see.
Correct.
Like what?
Well, like the floorboards were rotted out and are now roots. And the roof actually has two roofs on it, and there are no...
What do you mean two roofs on it?
There's the original roof, and then they just...
You mean like layers of shingles? Layers of shingles?
Not just layers of shingles. The shingles are still up there, too, on top of the ammo crates, but the second roof is just built on top of that with little pieces of 2x4 holding it up.
So you're saying that they actually took 2x4s and put it over the finished roof from the previous roof and built a new roof. And what, to make it higher, or for what reason?
It looks like to add a pitch to the roof.
Oh, I see. All right, and then what else?
Well, there aren't any rafter joists running across the two.
You know, it is a 1948 house.
What do you mean there are no joists? They're just rafters that make a peak, but there's nothing that goes across?
Correct. There's no spider webbing between the...
Sometimes they don't need it depending on how they're built. But listen, here's the bottom line. We said you need to do a couple things. We need to see the real estate documents to see what was disclosed, what wasn't, if they lied to you, and if there's fraud involved. Then we said we need to send an inspector, and of course I recommended Brian Wilcox, Eagle Property Inspections, and of course he's not going to do a multi-page detailed inspection as he would if you hired him, for goodness sakes, but he does. But he could take a cursory look to find out what's going on. I forgot to ask what area it's in.
Avondale, Colorado.
Yeah, I'm not sure he can go there. Where is that?
Pueblo.
Yeah. I'm not sure I can sentence him to that. I will.
I can find him somebody.
No, we may be able to find somebody, but I didn't know where it was, and I just can't send him all over, you know. But he doesn't. He does have some observations, and that's why he called. Brian, what did you want to say?
Well, for one, I wanted to find out where it was located, and two, there's a lot of things going on from what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Is that it's very common, very typical for homes of that age to be basically almost set right down on the soils. And of course they're going to rot out. It should have been brought up in the inspection report. The roof in itself should have been brought up in the report also as a improper install. Even if they are trying to get a pitch, they should have changed. Basically, took the first layer off and did it properly. The attic where the rafters are, should there be ties? Depends on the pitch of the roof that you have your cross ties in there.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like it's a low pitch, so there should be some cross ties in there to keep it from collapsing under a heavy snow load.
Yeah.
So
now,
it's not uncommon.
But it's not uncommon, you're saying, to have crappy houses that are older, right?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Here's the deal. That first inspector, Brian, it sounds like he did a bad job. That's what we want to see, that inspection report, and we'll have Brian look at that, because I'd like to know if the guy lied or misled you in that inspection report. So I want the real estate docs, the inspection report, and then we're going to have it looked at, okay? Chris? I think he's there. I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Good. So, Brian, anything else? Any tips or anything like that when it comes to these older homes, buying older homes?
No, you just got to be very, very cautious on older homes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we find all kinds of stuff, structural issues and issues like he just brought up with, you know, the floor joists being so close to the soils, and it's just the nature of older homes.
Right, and you're going to find tons of problems like with older cars. Let's face it. So be careful. George, on this $19 special, we said we were going to detail it. Detail it for $19. Now, normally it's $39. Even that price is cheap.
Normally it's $139.
No, what I mean is normally the special is $39, and I was going to say the regular price is way over $100, and it should be over $200 because of the time they take. But what exactly do you do?
You know, it's kind of like your transmission guy, right? They take apart. Why would they take apart the transmission?
To look at each part.
Yeah, they're thorough, and they really are preventative to your transmission. Right?
Isn't dirt truly the enemy?
Dirt is the #1 killer of furnace and air conditioners. We are the only competitor I know of in the marketplace that actually clean all of the dirt out. That's what a tune-up's supposed to be. See,
not just vacuuming.
No, most people don't. Most people, if they do a tune-up, think it's because I'm changing my filter or because they don't really know what's supposed to be done. We actually clean the dirt. We pull the blower motor. We clean all the dirt off of it. So, for example, just that one component alone, all of the dirt in your entire home cycles through and is always collecting dust and dirt and piling it on your blower motor, for example, makes it work harder, hotter. Eventually, a seal breaks. If you don't get it cleaned, then it leaks oil until and when a motor runs out of oil, what happens?
Let's talk
seizes up, right?
Let's talk about burner orifices and stuff like that.
Yeah, we clean the burners. We clean. I mean,
that's important.
Yeah, flame sensors. I mean, a lot of our calls when it's cold out is simply a flame sensor got dirty because they didn't clean it. And another thing anytime we do a tune-up, Tom, we guarantee. This is worth it alone. We guarantee it won't break down this season, or the cleaning's free. So it won't break down when we're done with it, and we guarantee that, or the cleaning's free.
Okay.
So it's silly for people not to maintain their furnace.
$19. That's incredible. And it's only until 1 o'clock you have to make the appointment. You don't have to have it done before 1. You have to have it scheduled. So here it is. 720-526-3939. And remember, the normal special is $39. Yes. The normal price is
$139.
Yeah, and that even to me sounds ridiculous. Honest to God, $139 should be the special. That's what it sounds like. Because if I looked at that, I would expect to pay, and I'm serious, $250 to $300 for what he did at my house. And you promised me he didn't do anything extra at my house than he would at anyone else's.
A lot of people ask us, why would you do this for this price? And we want to A, gain a client, but B, like we were telling that guy, what is the third step in business is actually getting referrals. We want people to not only just love our company, but tell anybody. And the only way they're going to truly tell people about it is if it's unbelievable, right?
Okay. $19 before 1 o'clock.
Did you go to Castle Rock?
720-526-3939. Yeah, they go to Castle Rock for sure.
Well, we just gave the number out to someone. Suzanne was saying they said they didn't, so that's why I asked.
Of course they do.
Yes, we absolutely go to Castle Rock.
Patrick, you need some advice on what, Patrick?
On buying a used car.
Okay. Now, by the way, Missy, I haven't forgotten about you. I promise that. I was waiting for one piece of information from someone to email me back. So make sure Missy knows that. I did not forget about her. I'm waiting for my one contact to email me back about this company. Okay. What is it? What do you need to know, Patrick?
All right, two parts. One has to do with a rebuilt title. What are the effects of a rebuilt title on a car?
A salvage title converted, you mean, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead. What do you need to know?
The second part is what should be the effects of hail damage on the sale of a car?
Okay. Hail damage, the effect of hail damage, it depends on the car. For most cars, it's exactly what it will take to fix it. That's what it is. Okay. So, in other words, and if a car is not worth fixing, then it's worth just that. It's transportation. But it's worth what it's worth to fix. If it's an exotic car, hail damage, even when fixed, will drastically affect the car, up to 40% of its value.
Okay.
Okay? So there you have it when it comes to existing hail damage. when something is salvaged for hail and then put back on the road and repaired, it has a big effect. All salvage has a big effect on the value. However, when you salvage and bring back one that was salvaged for hail, it has less an effect than one that was salvaged and brought back from a wreck. Okay? So if you have a salvage vehicle brought back from hail, it could be worth as much as 50 to 60% of its value. If you have a vehicle that was wrecked and brought back from salvage, it could be half the price to 30, or it could be worth only half to 40% of the normal car of that vintage. So it has a big impact. Most of the impact, unfortunately, is psychological, because there are cars sometimes that are salvaged because insurance companies don't want to mess with them because they don't want to have to guarantee them. So they salvage them. And you can get really good deals on salvage cars, rebuilding them, getting the state patrol to approve it, and then putting it back on the road. But it's very bad for resale. So I tell people, don't do a salvage rebuild unless you want to keep it.
Okay, gotcha.
And even then, make absolutely sure it was done right. Now, are you planning to buy something and bring it out of salvage, or did you find a salvage vehicle already that was brought back?
No, there are so many hail-damaged cars and rebuilt titles out there. I'm trying to buy a car for my daughter.
Now, if you're looking for transportation, one of the best values you can get is a car that was hail damaged and not fixed. However, not from a dealer. Dealers mislead you with the hail sales. Here's why. When they sell you a new car or a nearly new car with hail damage and you save $3,000 or $4,000, your insurance will not cover that car, or the next accident you have, no matter what it is, they're going to subtract $3,000 or $4,000. It will always come out of your hide one way or another.
All right.
So buying a hail damaged car is not worth it unless you buy it from salvage. If a car is salvaged for hail damage and that's the only thing that was wrong with it, and all you want is transportation and you're not looking for resale, it's wonderful. All right. We have more coming up here. ApprovalReverse.com is the website for reverse mortgages if you ever want one. That means you own your home, you owe a little, or it's paid off, because a reverse can pay off your first and then leave you with the rest. But not if it's too much. So you're 62 or older, you have a lot of equity, or it's paid off, and you need money either in a line of credit, or you want to receive a monthly supplemental check to supplement your retirement. This is a good alternative for some people. You never have to pay it back, but it does eat up equity. If you need information, I only trust these people. ApprovalReverse.com.
This report is sponsored by Blue EU.
There's a couple of highway accidents to watch out for when you drive.
Nelnet has a very bad.
She's got a fantastic rate, though. Boy.
Nelnet is not the official agency. So somehow they refinanced her sometime because they're not the original. It's a company. It's an independent company, and I thought so.
Right, but maybe she just got a student loan. It's not through the federal law. Maybe she just got a student loan through them. Huh?
Right now, mostly bodies guys in the Mile High City.
They do loans.
45.
They're serviced by Nelnet. They do no lending.
Oh, okay.
They are simply a servicer. And these fuckers they're not being paid enough to serve. You don't get paid a lot to service a 2.9. So they of course they want to refinance her. And if they got her to do a bigger one, it is absolutely ludicrous.
But I thought she only the reason as far as the refinance because she wanted to do that income based on
of course. So now she adds fucking $50,000 to her loan.
Right. No, but she went to them though, right? And asked to get this income. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they're bad to begin with.
Mark, what ended up happening with that call you called me about? Not call, but that situation where somebody's trying to raise their.
Oh, that was unbelievable, man. $7,500. They did not quote flow fill. The entire job, the entire was in the cul-de-sac. Not one part of it.
Not
was
one
in
part of
their
what?
yard. Of the stars deal. So then they come back and said, oh well, it's actually going to be 17,000 because the inspector's making us use.
What's going on, bro?
George, Tom, Mark, that lady emailed me back.
You know what? We were just.
I live off Meadows Parkway. I gave them my address, and they said they don't service our address.
The lady messed. So I texted the manager. The lady messed up.
Yeah.
She just needs to call
It's separated.
I'll tell her that.
I mean, damn it. I mean, the whole thing just fell
Hey,
apart.
George, so you guys do sewer excavation and everything? Do you have to use?
Well, we sub it out. We don't actually.
Oh, you do? Okay. I was saying.
But we do it.
So
Most companies actually sub it out.
So when you have down, how deep was that? 6 feet deep? 8 feet
Pretty
deep.
damn deep.
He charged them extra on the quote for that.
See, this is the thing. All of that, like, there's not one dig that we've done where we had to change the price. And if there is possibly gonna be something, we know what those things are, and that's rare. And we tell them, hey, just so you know, this covers X, Y, Z. And that's what they.
Oh, these guys knew. They did it on purpose. I'm convinced.
Yeah, it's a bait and switch. I mean,
it's too late at that point. There's nothing they can do because the city will come
they don't
out.
have to pay for them.
I mean, that's the
They
game.
can hire somebody else and say, fuck you, not paying them.
That's true.
But if you do dig down sewer, doesn't OSHA make you have that cage in there?
Yeah,
You know?
yes.
So they charge them extra for that afterwards.
That's part of the deal.
I know.
After-
They charge them $1,900.
Afterwards, they said, "Whoops, we got to put in a
Yeah,
box."
because it's caving in on us.
You have to do that
That-
every time.
No.
See, that's
Exactly.
bullshit. But that's what I'm saying.
No.
You know every.
And who?
You know what the
Exactly.
spot is. You know what the spot is.
Tom Martino here. Okay, 303-713-TALK. Oh, Missy, did we find out a lot? Okay, so Missy?
Yes, I'm
All
here.
right, now, I found out a lot. First, Nelnet is one of the many loan servicers for student loans. They are not the official servicer. Now, did you ever change or refinance this loan in the past?
I did.
Yes, you did, because that's when you picked up Nelnet.
Okay.
Now, Nelnet is not a great company. Are they legit? Yeah, they're legal. It's not a scam. However, I will tell you this. If you refinance that, first of all, you're at 2.9. Servicers, they're not the lender, they're a servicer. Servicers get paid off the return of that loan. So on a 2.9 loan, there's not much to share with a servicer. So who knows what that servicer's getting? I don't know. 0.25, 0.50, I don't know. But I will say this, that if they can increase the rate, they get more money. And especially if either one, either the rate or the balance, if they can increase both, they make a ton of money. They can even actually make lump sums by increasing the balance. That extra you talked about, you wanted income-based payments. By getting income-based payments, they said that they would have to add how much to your monthly payment?
$350.
Now, but if your payment goes up $350 on top of your payment, how does that become income related? I don't understand it.
Because of my financial situation, I can go ahead and have payments for a year of 0.
Right. Now, here's what's probably happening. They're accruing the interest you're paying, and they're going to pay it for you. And they're putting it on a new loan, plus adding some to it. My expert felt they were almost doubling your obligation or your interest rate. I'm telling you, this is a bad, bad offer. And I hope to God you didn't go through with it.
I didn't, actually.
How much is your monthly payment right now?
Well, right now it was on a deferment.
How much is the normal monthly payment?
It was about $300.
Okay. Now, $300 at 2.9 and 50 grand. Okay, if that's what it is, then you better verify it, because that doesn't make sense to me. But I'm going, see, and I don't know what your loan is. I would love to see copies of your loan papers, the original. I don't mean the original from when you went to school. I mean the original when you refinance it with Nelnet. I'd like to see what you have to give you an honest-to-God true assessment. Now, how many year loan was this this one with Nelnet, this 50 grand? Is it a 10-year?
No, it's just until it goes ahead and it gets paid off.
Okay. And so you don't know how many, you don't know. Okay, and your rate is 2.9, right?
Right.
Okay. Well,
the other thing, Tom, that bothered me is that they are wanting my husband to sign this paper.
No, I'll tell you why. You may, and this is something else, you may be in a situation right now. This is something. You're in a situation right now where you might be able to get out of it by bankruptcy. I'm not saying you are, but it could be. And that's why they want your husband to sign it or for you to refinance. Are you sure your payment is around $300 or is it more?
I'm pretty sure it's more because the last year I went ahead and had it on deferment, and deferment...
No, I'm talking about the normal payment. The normal payment that you started out with them. What was the normal payment? I don't remember now, quite frankly. Okay.
I believe it may have been more, maybe $350.
Okay. What I'm getting at is, right now, you're at 2.9%, and it was a 15-year loan, if that's what you were paying. Now, the 15-year loan started when you started with Nelnet. When was that?
I went ahead and did that whenever I graduated from school, which was 2003.
Okay, so in 2003 you went with Nelnet, and that was 15 years ago, right?
Yes.
How many years of deferment did you have?
I'm not sure, but I've used it all.
Well, like, how many years did you go with zero payments?
I don't know, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay. Your loan should be damn near paid off. Now, what is the loan balance? Do you even know?
I don't know right now.
Well, you don't know, and I mean this respectfully. You don't know anything. And Missy, I'm going to tell you something. I suspect you do not have 2.9%. I also suspect that you have way more than $50,000 as a balance, and that you don't know how much trouble you're in. Because there are complaints all over the internet about this. They keep you in the dark. So here, if you really want help, I mean really, then I need to see what you did with Nelnet. I need to see those loan docs. Then you need to ask. Then you need to ask them, and don't say you're mad or angry. Tell them you're considering refinancing. That'll make them happy. I want to see an amortization schedule or a loan statement, if they'll give you one, since the birth of that loan. Ask them for one. And then if they won't give you one, find out why. And then I'd like to find out, at the very minimum, what is your payoff amount right now? I need to know this stuff, and you need to contact me, and I want you to always put it, Student Loan Help, Martino, and you're going to write to help@troubleshooter.com. And it'll come directly to me, okay? You put Martino in the subject line, and Suzanne sends that directly to me. So please do this. I think that you're in way in deeper than you think, way deeper. Now, now there are legit companies that can help you. There are, but they're not one of them, in my opinion. I want to ask, what kind of business are you in?
We are home maintenance and repair.
Okay, like what kind of home maintenance?
Well, we go ahead and work with Besler Homes here in Loveland.
Oh, I see. Do you do like warranty work?
Yes, we do.
Oh, good. Okay. So, Missy, please, please, please get me that. The schedule, the original closing docs, and a payoff amount. And ask them if they'll give you a statement since the beginning of the loan. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mark, that math wasn't adding up to me. It just wasn't adding up. And, you know, I've had some people with servicers like this that have paid 10 or 20 years, and the balance maybe moved a few $100s because those deferments compound upon compound upon compound, and you think that it's just a deferment. It's not. It's still adding, and it's still compounding.
This is Denver's talk station, 630 KM.
I didn't realize he did that deferment for 2 or 3 years. And that's,
we're done with, what's his face, Eagle, by the way.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why he was hesitant?
No, he called in. He called in to get on
No,
there.
I mean, what do you mean we're done with him?
Just read the emails I sent you, too.
And Apple cutting iPhone production by 10% for the next 3 months.
That's odd.
The Nikkei Asian Review. The
That is very odd.
Suppliers back in December to produce fewer of
Why
the
did he say
iPhones
why?
than what was planned for the March quarter. Last week, Apple's flashing its guidance on revenue on a weekly.
Did you see my reply? I think I sent you all of them.
Did you say why?
Yeah, as well, whoever that is did.
CEO Jeff Bezos and his wife Mackenzie are calling it quits.
That's going to be the largest freaking divorce in history by ever.
Amazon one?
Amazon.
What's going on?
140.
The Amazon CEO.
They got to chop up 147 billion.
Getting divorced.
It's not Bezos, is it?
Yeah, she's getting divorced.
For the Fox Business Report, I'm Three Barsky.
Now that's a fucking divorce.
Now,
no,
she was with him from the beginning.
25 years, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he might have had $1 million or something, but he's got 147 billion they acquired together. No matter how you look at it.
Designed with exclusive smart flex
And
technology.
she's going to be the most eligible bachelorette in the world. I want to email
her. You're going to have to go through me first.
I already said it.
Hey, Dan's single.
It's a difference you can see. Available at Walmart, Pet Boys, Amazon, and other brands.
yeah, but you know what? If you're worth 147 billion or 74 billion, is there any difference?
Yeah.
You know, that
74
is weird that did not work. I find that impossible.
I do too, honestly. Although he is, I was always thinking, where does someone get one? I bet realtors a lot.
Gotta run out.
Okay, George, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the tea.
Good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you guys.
Thanks for the special.
We're going to start using your logo.
Yeah, it's a good logo.
Actually, I gotta maybe call him Mark guy. What's his name? Mark what?
I want
Trenner.
I want to use I want to use the
And an attorney here because that's all federal. Mark can write him a letter. It doesn't matter what state he's in. It's not like a normal deal.
Oh, okay.
Because IP, well, in this particular.
Probably knows how to find them too, yes.
You know, I don't even know if it's worth it, though, the more I thought about it.
That's why, I mean, I found this out over a month ago.
The guy should have simply spray painted over it and we call it over.
But what Tom says, if you don't defend it, you can lose it.
Yeah.
You'd have to prove I knew about it.
Yeah. That's what he did, though. He found one out of state, thinking you guys would never
He might have been
see
from
him.
here. He might have worked for them before. I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
Dude, I don't know who this guy is.
When I steal logos, I look for one out of state.
Or it just says Pixet 24 365.
New logo.
Yeah. No, dude, it's a green dot. It's a red fix.
Oh,
it's the exact same.
It is. No, they
with exception to the.
He grabbed it off your site.
Instead of great, I mean, the printer too, right? It doesn't say great. It's C instead of G. Crate service. And then heating.
Hey.
Heating is.
It happens.
Like, so I think,
GC.
hey, if we misspell these two things, it's not the same.
Maybe he's a foreign born.
It's different.
Hi, Tom Martino. We bid farewell to George. He had to leave. So here's the special.
$19. $19 for a complete refurbishing, recleaning of your furnace and tuning up. And it's for $19. You got to call before 1. 720-526-3939. Cindy's got a dealership issue. What's the dealership issue, Cindy?
Okay, so I bought a dealership vehicle over about a year and 3 months ago. Well, when I first bought the car, it had a check engine light. The store manager said had me bring it in, and he put this little machine on there.
Now this was purchased used?
Yes.
And how many miles?
2014 Ford Escape.
Okay, how many miles were on it?
90,000.
Okay, not bad. And did you have this issue right from the beginning, Cindy?
I did.
Okay, go ahead then.
And so then he cleared it out, and then I said, well, the problem is that it keeps coming back on, and I called him a few more times, and he says, Well, it will clear out as every so often. It will just clear itself out, which it did. Like sometimes when I would put gas in the car and stuff like that.
All right.
Okay, a year goes by, and I'm driving down the highway, and the engine all of a sudden. Oh, and by the way, when I was speaking to him, I said, well, the problem is that I would need to go get this car to get the emissions checked, and I can't get it checked with the check engine light. He
That's
says,
right. Well, hold on.
Don't worry.
Wait. You had that 3-day voucher to get your emissions, right?
Right.
That was your. If you let that expire, listen. If you let that expire, it's going to be hard to prove that because you could have gotten the car exchanged or refunded if it wouldn't pass inspection. Do you have anything to prove that you tried that it was the issue from the beginning?
Only a piece of paper that says check engine light on it.
Will they deny it? In other words, what if you say? First of all, let me ask: is it still on?
Yes, and something far worse has happened.
Now, Cindy, when did you first report it? What day? The first day you had the car, the second day when?
The first day before I signed the paperwork.
Okay. You actually reported it in the beginning.
Yes.
And is there a record of that in the beginning that the light was on?
On my pink slip stuff to get fixed when I purchased it.
Okay, and it says a we owe?
And it says what?
Does it say we owe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now, that is part of your paperwork. You said the pink slip, so it's on their copies too, but the one they tore, okay, that is great if it's on your original paperwork, but, and when was that? What month?
August of 2017.
Okay, so of 17 or 18?
17.
It's not, no. It's way too late, dear. I mean, it's way too late, Cindy.
I know. Okay, so here's the...
okay, but here's what I wanted to say. I mean...
She hasn't even told you the worst part yet.
I understand, and I know what she's going to tell me. That could have been an indication of trouble, but how did you eventually get your emissions if the light never went off first?
That's the thing, is that any car that's 10 years or older doesn't have to get emissions. And that's what he told me on the phone. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to have emissions.
Well,
so
you don't. So why did we bring this whole thing up? I didn't realize it was, I guess you did say, you said it was 2014.
The vehicle is a 2014. I bought it used in 2017.
But it's not 10 years. What am I missing? That's not a 10-year-old car. Okay, hold on.
10 years or newer.
That's right, 10 years or newer. I thought, and then on really old, what's the limit? On the old cars, they let you get away with it. There's one on both ends.
Classic, I don't remember.
Wait, are you kidding me? So anything 10 years or newer, that's wrong. You're getting wrong information. Suzanne, can we check for sure from our guy? Do we have anybody we can check with? Something sounds wrong. Anyway, go with the worst part. What happened?
Okay, the worst part is this. Okay, I call ECO Motors and tell them, look, this is an original problem. Anyways, I'm on the highway. I'm going 70 miles an hour. I get this check engine light that says oil problem. Oil problem, and then all of a sudden 2 minutes later the car starts eating itself up. So I'm on the side of the highway.
Without going through the misery, did the engine seize?
The engine seized. I took it back to ECO Motors. ECO Motors puts a new engine with 33,000 miles.
Actually, hold on. You know what? They didn't have to do that, so thank God they do. Did you have some kind of warranty with them?
No, and I did purchase the engine. They put the new engine in.
How much did it cost you?
Over $3,000.
I wouldn't have done. Wow, God, you did everything wrong, and now here's the problem.
They keep kicking her in the face, and she keeps coming back.
You keep doing everything wrong, and then you come to us and say, "Okay, I need help now." I mean, my God, this whole thing is so far gone. So you paid $3,000. They put it in. What's wrong now?
2 weeks later, the car will not accelerate. I take it back to ECO Motors thinking it's a problem with what they just did, and then they tell me, oh, you need a new turbo. Okay, I put a new turbo in.
What did you pay for that?
It doesn't work again after that.
What did you pay for the turbo?
Over $700.
Cindy, what? Okay, this is almost a comedy. I mean, you keep doing the wrong thing. Then what? Now what's wrong with it?
Then the car will still not accelerate. They tell me now it's a high-pressure fuel pump that needs to be purchased and put in.
Cindy, stop. Stop right now.
Okay.
Wait. They took, you didn't let them do that, did you?
Well, I'm under the impression
Cindy.
that it has something to do with the work that they just
Cindy, but you keep letting them do it.
Because I have a warranty with them.
You have no warranty. You've been paying for everything. What do you mean a warranty? Did they do the high-pressure fuel pump free?
They did put the high-pressure fuel pump in
free,
with a fee, of course, but didn't end up charging me the full cost of the labor or anything like that.
Hold on. Here, Cindy, stop. Just stop. Now I need you to answer me just basic questions. Just basic. How much was the car?
Purchase price $14,950.
Thank you. Now, how much?
I still owe $12,000.
I understand. Okay, I'll put that down. Now, how much? The engine was $3,000, right?
Yep.
Okay. How much was the other thing you put in, the turbo? 800?
About $700.
Okay. How much was the high pressure fuel pump you had to pay? Whatever you paid.
Another $200 for just the part.
Okay. And this is all I want to know. No stories.
And 6 tows.
Hold on. Without the tows, how much other money did you put into the car itself?
Nothing.
Okay. Now.
Just oil changes.
I understand that. Now we add all this up. Okay. Right now, is the car running?
No.
Why?
The dealership made me take it over to Ford. Ford looked into it. They said they don't know what's wrong. To take it back over to Ethios, but Ethios will not work on it anymore. So I'm in a position where I don't know what to do. That's why I'm calling.
Is the car running at all?
It starts, will not accelerate.
Okay, now, Cindy, let's first acknowledge, and I'm not doing this to make you feel bad. I'm going to help you to the best of our ability. But I want this for other people. Everything was wrong. In the very beginning, you should have never bought it with the light on, ever. Ever, ever. Number 2, you should have never believed them about the emissions. Number 3, you should have never, ever, ever kept it this long without having it completely checked from head to toe by a great business like SOS Inspections. You should have never done any of that. Right now, you need to stop. And we need to take inventory. First, we need to figure out exactly what is wrong with this car. We need you, and you may have to pay for a diagnostic, but you're going to get it for a great deal and from somebody we trust. Maybe they'll do it free. I don't know. I can't promise that. But Mark, what part of town are you in? What's most convenient for you? Which part of town?
Aurora Chambers and 225.
Okay. Is Keith
Sheridan?
Or Alameda, I mean.
Sheridan Auto Tech. Does Kevin have an office over there somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask Kevin what he can do. He's a good guy. I want Kevin to go through that car and let's figure out, first of all, if they did what they said they did, and second of all, what it needs. And you're going to have to stop just doing this knee-jerk reaction and throwing money at this thing. Now, Ethio, I don't know if they're good, they're bad. I've never heard of them. Guys, you know anything? We have anything in our data bank? Nothing. Where are they located?
Havana and Havana, approximately Alameda and Havana area, within half a mile, on Havana.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do then. I want you to hold on. We're going to get back to you on where to take it. We're going to have it completely analyzed. Then we're going to have Kevin back on. Kevin with Sheridan Auto Tech, the owner, Kevin Calkin, and we'll figure out what is going on. If, in fact, you have a case, we don't know. I don't think so. And then we'll check into this emissions thing. I'm glad you finally called, Cindy, okay? This is not your first car, right?
No.
Have you had problems like this before?
This is just my first car, my new car, the first anything I've ever actually paid this much money for.
Okay. We'll help you, all right? To the best of our ability. Okay, Suzanne, take Cindy and let's get her in good hands to figure out what's going on. That's the first thing we need to do. Let's just figure out what the heck is going on. All right. 303-713-TALK. Hey, I want to call George. I'm just calling him right now. He just said, I'll get him right on here. We won't get him on the... we don't have to get him on the radio as far as the... I just want to... He said they found the rattle in that heater. I just want to... Hold on here. I'm calling him on my cell. Hold on. Hello? George? George, you're on the air with me on my speakerphone. What did you guys figure out on that garage heater that was hanging, making rattling?
I believe it was just something with the frame, just something pretty simple, so we didn't charge it.
All right, cool. Thank you for texting me that, George. Appreciate it. All right, so fix it 24/7. Do you remember that call we got? The woman said we have 2 heaters. One is making more noise than the other. We don't know what it is. They can't figure it out. The guy that put it in had what happened to him? The guy that put it in was in a car accident or something, and he's out of commission. Anyway, they went over and fixed it. The frame was kind of rattling on both heaters. That's cool. Well, listen, we love helping people. But don't be like Cindy and call us a year later or a year and a half later when things are so far down the road. Call us sooner than later.
This report is sponsored by P3 Portable Protein Packs.
I mean,
the more
my
interesting.
God, she's insane.
You know, that's so funny and stuff with the rattling. That would have been the first thing a guy would go up there and check and hold it and stuff. And see
Exactly. The rattle. I would have thought the frame right away.
Yeah.
In fact, I was probably going to say that. No, I wasn't, but that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you do is go up there and stuff and just hold it.
I've installed a lot of my own stuff.
I have one.
How long do I have?
God, it's the most gorgeous place.
Oh, you understand?
Place is unbelievable.
Whose is that?
Look at that.
Is it a hotel or someone's house?
No. It's a
Bizio's place. His wife's getting.
God.
Seriously, Mark, though, 74 billion versus 144. I mean, who can tell you that after a billion? Who can tell? You can tell if you have too much money.
Well, a lot of people would say that at about $1 million, though. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Well, with $1 billion, you can buy pretty much anything, or 74 billion, you can buy pretty much.
You can't buy fucking Apple. Can't buy Amazon.
Why would you want to?
That's a cash fucking cow right there, boy. To help you out in retirement, a little cash flow.
Good cash flow.
Guess how much this place is a night?
How much?
So you get one of these. Look. Oh, look. Each has its own slide into the fucking ocean.
Where's this? Tahiti?
Look at this overview.
Where's it at?
China. Maldives.
How much is the cast iron recovery toast?
75, I believe, isn't it?
I emailed you her info. She's had it towed a lot, but that's pretty close to Sheridan.
It's right there.
She could drive it.
No, it's not drivable. It won't
No,
accelerate.
it won't accelerate, but can't you just limp it over there? Maybe not.
It's
No,
right
she's like, oh my God, I've had it towed so many times. I said, I think these guys are like 60, 70 bucks. She goes, oh, okay, that's fine. So I just sent you all her info to coordinate that over to Sheridan. We're not asking Sheridan to do that with.
No, God, no. But he can give the diagnosis.
He can diagnose. Yeah.
Look at this.
Sheridan.
What is it?
This fucking resort. It is.
Ooh, is that in Dubai where you'll never go?
Maldives. Maldives, where the hell?
Why'd you look that up?
Each one's got a private slide.
But why'd you look that up?
Right after LA.
I just saw the video.
I'm going to Paris this weekend.
What do you think this? Look at this right here, Tom. This is a good overview.
When did we get our certificates?
I think Miles is picking them up today from
I
Safeway.
want to take my bride out.
So you're on the ocean, literally. You got a big water slide.
How far from the mainland?
Restaurants, I don't know. Private water slides in each villa. Private pool in each villa.
What is it? How much?
Chef. Everything. I'm asking you to guess. I already looked it up. I already know how much a night. How much do you think per night? It's all inclusive.
You see where it's at?
Chef
Maldives is?
everything.
That's where Maldives is at.
Well, so that's where it is.
It's in the middle of freaking
Yeah,
nowhere.
it's close to India and stuff.
What country?
It's literally in the middle of nowhere.
You know, Mark, it's really hard to say because some of these aren't as expensive as you should think, but if this is all inclusive.
And it's top chef, all that shit.
I mean, it could be as much as 30 grand a night.
How do you get there?
3,000.
Either a boat or a helicopter.
See, now, you know what? That's fucking incredible. I would do that.
It's because of where it's located. Where I even get
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Oh, my goodness, we're going to try to get everything done. Karen, it's your turn. What's going on, Karen?
Hi, yeah. I hired a contractor to replace my porch. It was sinking, and the sidewalk had already been done, which he did with a group before. So I ran into him in the store, and so I had him do it. Well, he left a mess. He didn't finish.
How much did you pay?
I paid him $2,000.
See, everybody who pays up front, it's almost like you're automatic.
Wait a minute. I didn't pay up front at always. I paid at the end. He had poured the porch and everything.
Oh.
He poured the porch.
Okay, you're just upset with how he left it.
No, he left one. He didn't put the beam in. He did everything but that, and he stole my other one. That was the metal lattice from the 1960s houses they built.
What's the name of this guy?
His name is Moses Funaki or something like that. He's Hawaiian.
And where'd you find him?
He did my driveway and sidewalks before, and he's supposed to be with Good Samaritan Contractors. Have a contract and everything with him.
So right now, what are you cheated out of right now? Ladders and what else?
My lattice. It's a metal lattice.
Oh, a lattice. Got it. I get you. He took a lattice. Did he? And he also and he also needs to put a beam in.
Yes, he didn't put the beam in. I hired someone else to do it. I was afraid my
What did that cost you?
Down.
What did that cost?
That was $300. Over a little bit over $304.
And that was included in the $2,000 you gave him. He was supposed to do that.
That was included, but I had to pay somebody else.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that $300 in addition to, okay, so that $300, how much then is the lattice worth? The lattice.
The lattice is worth like I looked it up, and it's around $500.
So what we're saying is basically $800 to $1,000 he owes you.
Yes.
Have you thought of
the small claims?
Are you going to take him to small claims?
I plan on taking him to small claims.
Okay.
I haven't filled out the paperwork yet, but I'm planning on doing that.
Well, here's what I want you to do. Where is he out of? What location?
Oh, he on the contract he has his home address.
Where is that?
Where he lives and everything.
I mean, what? Just not the number. Oh, in Aurora. Okay. Here's what I think we need to do. I think you go ahead with the small claims. I want Deputy Dan to call this guy, and then Deputy Dan, I want to put him on the Sleaze Brigade. But first, I want you to verify the story. We need to start putting more people on the Sleaze Brigade so people find out about him.
That should be our New Year's resolution.
No, it should be, for sure. Now, because the Sleaze Brigade is really effective. So hold on now. Here's the deal. Dan's going to call him. We're going to ask him if he'll bring back the lattice, if he can, or pay you for it. And then we're going to ask him about why he didn't do the beam, and he owes you $300. Let's just get a feel for what he says. Deputy Dan will handle that. Suzanne, get him in touch with her. Okay. Billy, what's going on with you, Billy? Welcome.
Oh, hi, Tom. You're my go-to guy.
Hey, what's happening?
Well, I bought a little house to work out of.
Yes.
I'm in Lyman, Colorado.
Okay.
I wanted to go with Ideal, but for some reason I had brain damage and called somebody named American.
Yeah, that's a legit company, American Financing.
Okay.
They advertise like crazy. So what are you asking?
Well, I haven't signed anything. They've sent me some declaration papers just to apply.
Well, here's what I want to say. They're both legit companies. I represent Ideal Home Loans, so I might be slanted, but there's nothing wrong with American Financing. And Ideal Home Loans is another great company, but here's the thing. And I'm just saying this because it's a fact. Ideal Home Loans is on our referral list, and I know them. American Financing has been around a while. Everybody looking for a loan, you need to look for the deal. Okay, the deal. Who has the best deal? But something else you need to know, and I'm not recommending you do this, but I'm telling you so you know. You are never obligated to a lender until you close. And sometimes packages can be transferred, sometimes they can't. What I mean is, sometimes the appraiser is approved by a number of different underwriters. So that means by transferring the file, there is no penalty. But sometimes there's no reason to transfer a file. But Ideal would take a free second look at that file, and they would say to you, you know what, everything looks in order, it's fine. Or they may say to you, hey, we can save you some money here, but we can't use the appraiser, so you may as well stay where you are. Or they may say, we can use the appraisal and everything, plus save you money, then you can move. Or they may say, yes, we can use everything, but it's going to be the same price. Well, then just stay where you are. What I'm getting at is you're never obligated. But if there's nothing going wrong and you're not unhappy, then you just do it. But I want everyone to know, and I'm sure American Financing takes a second look at loan packages all the time. That's the nature of the business. Many people, when they get in the middle of a process, start questioning what they're doing, and what they do is they have somebody look at the package. That's why we always talk about free second opinions. not just with that, but you can get free second opinions with like furnaces and water heaters and everything. So really, Billy, I don't think you made a mortal sin. It's not like you got some schlock company off the internet.
Right, but another question I have for you, is it because the man that they've got dealing with me is in Chicago? Is that normal?
No, it's weird to me too, but I'm not telling you, listen carefully, I'm not telling you there's anything wrong with it, but I would rather deal locally. Again, you can have anyone, any company, look at that package and tell you, any legit lender would tell you what kind of a deal it is and if it's a good one. Just like we do with Compass Insurance. Compass Insurance looks at insurance deals all the time. Uriah, what's going on with you?
Hi, yeah, so I went to Brakes Plus on Saturday to get an oil change. They ended up sending me a free coupon for an oil change, so I went in and got it done.
Okay.
First, the dude started trying to hassle me on how they're not going to honor the coupon that they just sent me. The manager ended up waiving the fee, and I got it for free. I got in my vehicle and started driving east on Mississippi. Or not east, but whatnot. Pulled out of their lot and started driving down Mississippi.
We're running out of time. I want Uriah. We can continue. We got to continue this story. Suzanne, make sure we get him on tomorrow. I'm Tom Martino. Referralist.com to avoid these troubles and save all your problems for me. Adults who have crooked teeth and
I turn left. We should let him keep talking, and we might get to the story by tomorrow.
And then I stopped for gas.
Handle that okay?
I got a cheeseburger at McDonald's.
The audio, please.
Oh,
Hey,
turn off. Okay, just give me.
Tommy, put your things in there, and I'll lock it up.
Hey, just